Welcome to the Cinefanatics. This is the Marquee. My name is Robert Adams.
I'm Chris Adams.
And joining us tonight, you're like just about as much of a part of these marquees as Chris is. We got Tori Rose joining us. Hello, Tori.
Hello. How are you? I think I've done this once before.
What, Christmas movies? We've never tier ranked Christmas movies.
Oh, no, I haven't done Christmas movies, but I've done
never happened.
The Marquee. Yeah. Like surprisingly, we've been doing the Marquee for like over a year, and we never ranked Christmas movies. So, anyways, thank y'all for joining us and being here as we get started. I'm looking in the chat. I do see Commentating Nerd. I see Chris Adams. I see Robert Adams. Thank you for being here, Robert Adams. Tori, I see you in the chat. Thank you for being here in the chat. William, Garth, Jeremy, hello, everyone. So, Christmas movies. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is the final marquee of 2022. William Harold, there is no Die Hard on this tier ranking. We will probably, that would be one that we would probably save for like future marquees, is like, let's rank the adjacent, Christmas adjacent movies.
So here's the thing. There are way more holiday movies than we have time or a list to shake at tonight. So we'll probably end up doing some Christmas and Christmas adjacent or Christmas related movies maybe next year.
Yeah, luckily there's Christmas almost every year, and so therefore we can still tier rank all these movies every year or so.
Well said.
I think it happens about every year. Maybe.
Almost every year.
There wasn't a Christmas in 2020.
There wasn't anything in 2020. We started a tagline in 2020, and that was all that started in 2020.
The year that time forgot.
Yeah.
The year without a Santa Claus.
Ooh, we need to tier rank.
He had COVID. That's what happens when you break into a bunch of people's houses over and over again.
Anyways, so for tonight, we are going to be tier ranking. I believe we've got 19 classic and possibly new classic, and then definitely new and not classic yet movies available to tier rank for everyone's tier ranking enjoyment. If you would like to tier rank these with us as well, I'm going to flash up the movies here in a little bit that we're going to be ranking. If you would like to, you can send in the Santa's a super spreader. Yeah, country to country. He's not.
Your mom's a super spreader.
He's not locked to New Zealand for like 14 days. I don't know if they still do that in New Zealand. Is Malcolm in the chat?
Quarantine before going to each individual country.
That would suck. Anyways, if y'all would like to give us your ranking of where you would like to put these movies, streamlabs.com/cinefanatics. At the end of this, if y'all submit those in, we'll cover those as well at the very end of that. If y'all have any questions, comments, issues, complaints, because there's going to be some complaints on this one tonight. I just know it. Right out the gate, almost, I would say. If y'all have any issues, streamlabs.com/cinefanatics is a good place to get our attention on that. Also, real quick, patreon.com/cinefanatics. If you feel like that we are worthy of your support and you have the means to support us, please pick the tier that is good for you and your budget, and thank you for your support. Otherwise, let's get into the movies that we're going to be tier ranking. There are 19 of them tonight, and here's the 19. We've got all kinds of movies from different walks of life. We got It's a Wonderful Life. We got Miracle on 34th Street. That's going to be the 1994 version, not the original. Jingle All the Way. We've got the new ones like Christmas Story Christmas, Spirited. Klaus is fantastic. We've got Polar Express and Elf.
Wait. Did you just say Polar Express?
Maybe. I meant like Polar Express.
Like they're going to the North Pole?
The North Pole.
The Paul Express.
Is that some guy hanging up like in Canada or something?
The North Pole.
We call him North Pole.
Sure. Whatever. Anyways, so that's the movies that we're going to be tier ranking tonight. If y'all have any questions, comments, let us know. Anyways, compliments are really good too. Let's go over tonight's rules. Johnny, is Johnny available to do the rules? Here's the rules. Take it away, Johnny.
Well, as it turns out, actually, we gave Johnny the holiday off, and here to read the rules tonight for you guys is North Paul. Hey, what's going on? Hey, it's the tonight's rules for the Marquee. Glad to be here, by the way. It's a great pleasure to be here. It's at least 3 films per tier. One tier can have 4 films. Hey, it's going to be a great time here on the Marquee for the Christmas spirit. Thank you guys so much again for having me. Hey, it's a great time. Hey, that's North Paul here. See you later.
That's so stupid.
I don't know what accent that was. That was weird. Like,
Yeah,
I
crazy.
think it was French for a second, and then it was like Norwegian.
It started Canadian, and then it went to the shop owner from Frozen. Big summer blowout.
Big summer blowout.
And then it came back to like Canadian, and then ultimately I feel like it was just Chris.
Yeah, it sounded
Gotta
like
be
some
honest.
guy from Texas trying to do a Canadian accent. It was really weird.
I gotta be honest, guys. This hat's getting real hot.
Anyways. So, guys, now I can't talk. Oh, let's have North Paul take over the whole thing.
He'll do it by himself.
Yeah.
Paul's tier ranking.
Yeah, the problem is North Paul will rank everything S tier, and we don't have enough room on S tier, although that is a big honking Marquee board. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get Carl out here and bring out the Marquee. Carl.
See, now, unlike Johnny, Carl is dedicated and he's here on the holidays. And for that, we give him a bonus.
Yes.
Suck it, Johnny.
I don't know what kind of bonus we're giving him. People are going to have to send in Streamlabs for Carl to get any kind of a bonus this year, unfortunately. So please.
I have good faith.
Carl's bonus.
I have good faith.
If you like Carl and you don't want Carl to go home to his family, his wife, and his 15 children, Carl may be played by Nick Cannon. I don't know. But if you would like to make sure they all have food in their bellies tonight, streamlabs.com/cinefanatics. That's right. Carl's going to guilt trip you. Anyways.
That was definitely not Nick Cannon.
Yeah. Y'all are familiar with this. If you've seen this show before, you're familiar. If you haven't seen this show and you're not familiar, here's what's going on. This is a tier ranking show. Tier ranking means that we have 6 different tiers, starting with S as superb, going all the way down to F or whatever you want F to stand for. Usually it's F that movie.
Hold on a second. I gotta be honest. North Paul was so excited to just be a part of the show. Did he actually read the rules?
I think he did.
Yeah, that's so crazy. He was so focused on just being able to be a part of the show that he can't remember if he actually read the rules or not. There they are.
Yes, 3 films per tier. 1 tier can have 4 films. We've got 19 films and 6 different tiers.
Oh man, North Paul, that crazy guy.
Yeah.
Did you just black out?
What?
Are you having like a stroke with the hat?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyways, so we're going to tier rank all these movies, go through them one at a time, give our opinion where we think they're going to rank, and then we're going to come to a consensus on where it ranks. I will never get that word right.
You're both having a stroke in this frozen weather.
Apparently, yes. It is like freezing cold here. So it's like colder here than it is in most of the northern United States right now.
In
It's
Massachusetts,
actually probably
50 degrees.
Or in the North Pole.
Yeah, North Paul's probably like baking on the beach up there in Canada while we're freezing our little, I don't know, shorts.
Weenies off.
Weenies? Our weenies off?
Your little weenies.
Our barbecue sausage? Sure. Tori. Anyways, our little smokies. Anyways,
What the hell is happening on this show right now?
I don't know. This is the last one of the year, so who knows what's going to happen tonight. All hell's going to break loose. I would like to say, speaking before of hell breaking loose, keep in mind as we're ranking some of these are our opinions and our views of these movies. These are not everyone's views and opinions. Please don't hate us.
No, hate us. Hate me.
You know I'm coming in here with some hot takes if I'm already trying to like cover my ass at the beginning of this.
Hate me.
I also want to be clear about something. At some point, any given point throughout the history of you guys knowing us, we may or may not have mentioned something about any of these movies at some point, and maybe our opinions from the last time we've talked about these movies has changed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like any random point in history, we might have mentioned a movie or two on this list in passing. Don't give us crap if our opinions change. That's what happens with time. Sometimes your opinion changes on a movie.
I'll be perfectly honest. I don't remember talking about any of these movies ever. So whatever my opinion was in the previous time, it's probably changed. So
You sure at no point in history you've ever talked about Home Alone?
I mean, other than a possible podcast that we did recently, maybe.
Which you guys can actually look at on this channel. We have a couple podcast episodes open, and you can also go over to anchor.fm/Cinefanatics to find podcasts. Look at that mid-beginning plug.
Impressive.
Anyways, Tori, would you like to plug anything before we get started?
Don't ask her that. Nope, she can wait till the end.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're gonna allow your guests to plug only the Cinefanatics.
No, Tori, I just know that you like plugging at the end. So anyway.
All right. Anyways, we're going to kick things off. Tori is kicking things off the right way down there. I wish I was able to kick things off that way.
The wine is disgusting, by the way. It tastes like grapefruit. I hate it. It was just open in the fridge, so.
That's all that really matters when it comes to drinking wine. Is it open? Can I drink it? Good.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, pretty much. That was the decision that was made. So.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, kicking things off, we're going to start with a very classic movie. It is going to be It's a Wonderful Life. Tori, you are a guest. You may start, ma'am.
I watched this movie again yesterday. I have seen this movie before. I didn't grow up with it, but I saw it a few years ago. And I saw it last night. I'm currently staying with some friends in Massachusetts. One of my friends is Jewish, Ariana, and her girlfriend Sam. Sam does Christmas. Ariana's Jewish. So Ariana hasn't seen most of these movies, and it's interesting to hear her takes. She's finally been a little interested in some of them, but still kind of traumatized by Christmas as a whole. As a Jewish person in America, is just kind of whatever. Wishes there was more Hanukkah movies, basically. But she's watched a few, and we watched this yesterday because she was interested in it, and we had spun a dreidel to decide what movie we were watching. We were either going to do this or Miracle on 34th Street because she hadn't seen that, obviously. And we did this, and she and Sam loved it. So a Jewish person loved this movie and really thought it was really well done, cried, the whole thing. I think this movie is really, really good. I think it holds up really well. I think a lot of older movies don't because of whatever, racist tropes. I mean, there's problems in this movie, don't get me wrong. But I think there isn't really a point in this movie where I was cringing if that's something that happened. There's parts where I'm yeah, it's a movie from the 1940s, but the romance is sweet. I think there's moments in this that even outside of being a Christmas movie, are really good. And I think the overall message is one of the biggest Christmas kind of motifs, which is, friendship and family. I know Christmas movies a lot have kind of strayed away from that and gotten more into the gift giving kind of thing, but it's a really wholesome movie, and it makes you feel really grateful, I think, and you rethink a lot of things in your life that maybe you took advantage of. And as someone my friends helped me a lot this year, watching this movie this year in particular, really hit me. And I think it's an essential watch, even if you don't celebrate Christmas. I like Ariana, I didn't want to be you're watching It's a Wonderful Life. But when she expressed interest in it, I was I think it's a good enough movie that you would get something out of it. So, in my opinion, this is S tier. Because of that, I think it's essential Christmas watching, and I think it's also just a good quality movie, even outside of being a Christmas movie. There really isn't even Christmas in this movie until the last 30 minutes or something.
The last 2 minutes.
2 minutes there's Christmas, but I mean it's just cute. It's just cute. It's sad, you'll cry, but it's also cute. So
you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll fart. It happens.
You'll fall in love. You'll want the moon. You'll
You want the
fart.
moon? You'll fart.
The
The farting might not have anything to do with this movie. It just may be because of what you ate earlier. But I mean, it's bound to happen. We're all human. Chris.
Welcome to the Cinefanatics, where you can get such hot takes like "It's a Wonderful Life" will make you fart.
Mm-hmm.
Everything Tori said, it's S tier.
Well, let me go ahead and add in my take on this. Basically, everything Tori said. The feelings and the emotions, even though one could argue this is technically not a Christmas movie because there's only Christmas in the last 2 minutes. The reason I feel like this one is such a Christmas movie is all the feelings and emotions that this movie conveys just happen to fit in with Christmas anyways. So,
the spirit exists all the way through this movie.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, and not to interrupt your thing, Robert, but also like it kind of like vibes off of A Christmas Story in a lot of ways, like with the angel coming and like showing him his life in an alternate kind of world and making him go back to his life and reappreciate things. I mean, that's essentially what happens to
Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol, yeah.
And A Christmas Carol is like not argued to be not a Christmas movie. So they kind of grab on a lot of Christmas motifs in it.
There's snow, it counts.
There's snow.
When Jeremy's right, he's right.
Yeah. S tier. This is S tier. This is easily S tier. This is going to be the highest of S tiers because I'm almost willing to bet there's probably not going to be any other movie on this list that we're all three going to completely agree as being S.
It's just like
that's not true.
I just like honestly like I was surprised at how much Ariana, again, she's Jewish. She hasn't seen a lot of Christmas movies, but she really loved it. And that to me like further reinforced how good of a movie it is. It's like she's someone who like goes into Christmas movies and is like, I'm probably not gonna like this, or it's not gonna hit me as hard. Like Polar Express and things she's seen, she's like, it's fine. But It's a Wonderful Life, she was like crying, sobbing at the end, like ugly crying. So yeah.
That'll happen.
Hey.
Hey.
So next movie, moving on. Chris, we're going to start with you. This is going to be White Christmas.
Oh, man. I remember seeing this movie once. I remember it being a nice, wholesome, classic movie, really enjoying it and thinking that it is a fantastic tale. Again, it's another one of those movies where there's a bulk of the movie where Christmas is not happening. However, it's also one of those movies where the spirit itself kind of wafts its way through from beginning to end, where it's bookended by Christmas. So this is where you get kind of not necessarily the origination of some certain loved Christmas songs, but where they were very popularized, essentially. Actually might be the origination of some Christmas carols. How old is this? This was what?
1954.
1954? Yeah, so it might actually be the origination of some Christmas songs. Either way, this was a lovely, wonderful, wholesome, fun, good time movie. It's classic. I didn't get a chance to rewatch it again this year, though I probably will next year. It's going to be on the list to rewatch again next year, just because it's about time. It's about time for me to rewatch it again. But this is just one of those. It's a wonderful time. Was that it was Danny Kaye and who was the other guy? It was
it is.
Is it Fred? It's not Fred
Bing Crosby.
Bing
Crosby
right.
and Danny Kaye. Rosemary Clooney and Vera Ellen.
Yeah. So the cast itself, fantastic. The four of them are just legends in and of themselves. So you bring the four of them together for a nice little wholesome Christmas tale. It's really great. Makes me want to go see some snow.
Put on a show for your old sergeant.
Yeah. My old sergeant.
Is that what he is?
I've got no time for sergeants. I mean,
is that what he is?
No one else is going to get that joke.
Let's harmonize. Snow.
No.
Snow.
No.
Snow.
No.
All right. You were close enough with no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where am I putting this? I did not mention that yet. I am putting this in the B tier. Throwing it in B tier. I like it. I like some other movies better, but I like it.
Okay, so I'm going to be kind of like along the same lines. I think I've only seen this. And Troy, you can't. The other guy, Bing Crosby. Good, Chris.
The other guy.
Troy is correct, and I'm a fool.
Yeah, well, I'm about to look even more like one.
Haha. Yes.
I watched it for the first time last year, and I don't know. I had a hard time getting into it. Maybe I need to give it another rewatch. So maybe next year. I'm not completely eager for this. I'm gonna say though, it is a good movie. It's a classic, absolutely. It's just not one that I'm into. So this is the thing I hate about tier ranking movies, is because where I want to put this movie doesn't mean that I think it's a terrible, bad movie. It's just not one that I enjoyed the first time I watched it. I'm not super eager to watch it again. Eventually I'm going to, but for right now, just for the sake of where I need to put other movies, I have to put this one in F. It's no evaluation on the quality of the movie at all. Not at all. No judgment on the quality of the movie. It's just...
Wait, am I allowed to curse?
Yes.
Robert said fuck White Christmas. Robert said fuck that lieutenant, whatever he is. Fuck the lieutenant. Fuck the what's it? Is he a drill sergeant?
Look, Tori, look what you did. The second you started using the F word, we got the sex bots that popped up in here. Thanks, Tori. That wasn't an open invitation for y'all.
I just want to be
very happened when we had like mostly women on that one episode.
I just want to be clear about something.
I'm not saying
I'm
it's a bad movie.
Completely off the hook for where I ranked Batman 89 at this point.
I'm
not known as the one to
you
have
are
the
not.
Take. I'm not the one on this show to be known to have the hottest takes anymore.
Well,
this one up here has had
this
one up here. Let me get my point out. This one up here has had hotter takes than me more often than me. I am off the damn hook.
You are purposely trying to throw this off, even though I talked to you about this before this went live.
The damn hook.
Because I was worried as to what people may think if I put this in F. It's not a bad movie. I'm not putting in an F because it's a bad movie. It's just not a movie I'm super eager to watch. Almost everything else on this list, I am super eager to watch at some point.
Your opinion and the content you are creating, I am off the hook.
I am owning it. I need to watch it again. It's not one that I'm going to be like, ooh, I can't wait till Christmas next year so I can watch White Christmas again. But it will be like, hey, again. I do need to watch White Christmas again because I don't feel like I was fair to it the first time.
My brother's out here going White Christmas. I call it more like Yellow Christmas. Am I right? Snow tastes like
more like Brown Christmas. Am I right?
Anyways, F, but that will probably change on future rankings. Again, not an opinion, not an evaluation of the movie. Tori, please agree with me in some form.
She does
okay, not. Like this isn't my favorite movie. Like, just me as
Tori
a
wants to put an F2. Cool.
As a little Gen Z bi girl, like, you know, a military emphasized film is, you know, not my personal cup of tea, but it's like a sweet message of honoring someone that was like a mentor to you, who like meant a lot to you. I could get behind that. There just is a lot. This to me is a lot more dated than It's a Wonderful Life is, in the sense of there's just moments like with like. I remember like my mom watches this movie a lot. When I was growing up, I would always like see my mom watching this movie. And I remember like she informed me like a lot of like the women or one of the main women out of the two had like a horrible eating disorder while filming this. And like there's just like a lot of background of that like going on in this movie for me of just the time, more so than It's a Wonderful Life, where I don't know, it feels a little more dated to me. I could have someone else put it on and I wouldn't be mad. Like if someone was like, oh, I want to watch White Christmas, I'd be like, sure, cool. But it's not going to be like in my top like 5 of what I want to watch for December every year. I probably wouldn't pay to watch this movie. It's like if it would be on streaming, I'd watch it again. But I watched it a lot growing up because my mom really loved it and it was just kind of on in the background a lot. The dance sequences are great if you're into that kind of thing. I think it's entertaining And again, it's like the overall message can hit home for a lot of people. I think if you're from a military family, like people love this movie. It hits home for them really hard, and that's a lot of people. So Robert's like, I was in it.
I was in the military.
I was in it, Tori.
We are technically.
It does though. Like I know a lot of people who like are older who are like, oh, White Christmas. Oh, the general, whatever. I put it at B. It's not something I would like go to as like A or S for me. But I think again, if someone put it on, I wouldn't be mad. And I think it's sweet. It's just it is a bit more dated for me than It's a Wonderful Life is. So
Jeremy says it wasn't very many Gen Z Christmas movies in the 50s.
I think this is the 40s still, is it?
Is what?
Is this the 40s? I know It's a Wonderful Life is 47.
White Christmas is 54. Wonderful Life is 46.
Yeah, Garth, I feel it. Garth, I feel something in this movie. There's a little era of being dated. But
in the meantime, William Harold is over here in the chat apparently doing the safety dance.
Yeah.
So we got B, F, and B. I'm okay if everyone decides that my vote doesn't count on this, because I'm not judging this movie. My grade on this doesn't come from the same way that y'all are grading it. Mine is just completely I haven't connected with this movie enough. I don't know. So I'm okay if you still want to put this.
White Christmas.
Well, I'm okay if you still want to put this in B, since the two of y'all said B.
So we said B and you said F. So B, B, F.
So put it in like C.
But I'm saying if you want to do
own your opinion.
I do
That's
own
not
my
how
opinion.
Works, Robert.
Okay, well then I will average them out. So
do the damn math.
F, so it's going to be C. It's going to be middle to end of C.
Tori holding that wine glass like I got the tea right here.
Do you know you're supposed to hold white wine from the stem? And
you're
red wine from
all wine from the stem.
As a very frequent wine
you're
drinker.
Supposed to warm with your hand. I went to a winery once.
I like to hold it from the disc at the bottom like this, so I can go.
You're just weird. You were being called weird by someone who wants to put White Christmas in F tier.
Yeah, so therefore the opinion that person does not matter to me.
No, you should just feel strange.
I don't.
Anyways, we're going to move on to me. And next one is going to be A Christmas Story. This is a classic childhood Christmas. I will admit that I really didn't watch this movie as a kid. I didn't watch this movie till I was like maybe like 13. I mean, I was going into teenage years. So
back in like 1964.
This movie came out in 1983. So I was two when this came out.
You were alive when this.
Yeah. Like I don't feel like I connected with this movie as like kids who watch this movie as kids do. So F, no, just kidding. I was almost a teenager, I believe, when I first saw it, but it still had like a lot of good connections in it. Even if your childhood Christmas didn't happen exactly like how it happens in this movie, there's still parts that may be familiar to you that you may connect with, and I thought that was pretty good. I have this as a solid A. So, Tori?
I think this movie starts to capture, where I think another movie did it better for me in this list, but I think this movie starts to capture like the humor of Christmas. Like Christmas is ridiculous in America, at least. Like, you know, you dread it. Like you're like, oh my God, my family's ridiculous. Like they're going to make me wear some weird ass pajamas and I'm going to have to wear it. And like, as a kid, like, it's very glamorized and you look forward to it. And, you know, you're like, I'm going to get the gun or whatever, like toy you're wanting to get.
Red Ryder BB.
But overall, it really captures like how ridiculous Christmas can be. And I think a lot of people connect to it because they like view their family as like, yeah, ridiculous, but they still love them. And this movie tries to, I think, like go after that. And I think as a kid, it connected with me more. But then watching it on TBS every year, shout out to TBS, 24-hour marathon, sponsored.
So much.
I
Wait.
think I got a little burnt out of it like a few years ago, and I haven't really enjoyed it as much as an adult. As a kid though, my sisters and I laughed through it. I found it funny. But currently my mood with A Christmas Story in Tori 2022, December 23rd, I'd put this at like a C.
Okay. Chris?
That's where I'm at.
So this one I watched for the first time in my life last year, and I was just okay with it. It's fine. It's not a terrible movie, by all means. I actually very much see how people can love it, can feel that Christmas nostalgia, how it resonates with people through the decades and through the years and whatnot. For me, I think maybe it's because the first time I watched it, I was older and I didn't catch it when I was younger, and maybe would have grown a fonder love of it then too. But it just didn't do it for me. As far as like, just it doesn't connect with me as far as like all the Christmas stuff goes. I mean, there's obviously some things that are relatable. There's Christmases that we've had with our parents and just us as a family. Like there's aspects of this that definitely are relatable. But
did you get bunny costumes?
I definitely did not get a bunny costume.
No, we got super sexy leg lamps.
That also is a thing that did not happen. Yeah, so it was a great great Christmas time that we had when we were younger. Anyway, so here's the thing. I will say this, since we're on this movie, I will say there's only really 2 movies on this entire list that I actually actively dislike. And they are both in the F tier. This movie is not one of them. However, I am also putting this movie in the F tier because it's 3 movies per tier. And I just like everything else more than this movie, to be honest, except for the other 2 movies I actively dislike. However, I will say...
in F tier?
I am putting this in F tier. I will say
Good
that
Lord.
that my opinion of this movie is actually higher, given its sequel, which we will touch on probably much later in this marquee. And when I say probably, I say we will because y'all know that's on this marquee. Anyway, this movie's in F tier only because I had to put something else in F tier.
And none of these other movies.
We're going wild tonight, apparently.
Oh, you wanted to put White Christmas in F tier. Don't give me that.
You're going to put A Christmas Story in F. Good Lord, what is wrong with you?
Damn straight I am. Drop it into that old F.
I would like to take this opportunity as we go into the Christmas season to announce to all of our viewing public that Christopher Adams was adopted.
That's not true.
His real last name is Poop.
Christopher Poop.
Tori, get another swig of that wine there.
Tori's enjoying her wine tonight, y'all.
Get
that
another
Christmas
swig
wine.
Get a little more slosh of that wine there.
So I agree with this, William Harold. I've seen this movie like 10 times and never in the correct order. That's for a while. I feel like that's how I watched this movie. I would just turn it on, probably on TBS, and I would just watch it from wherever it was at. Like for years, I was like that with like Ferris Bueller and Breakfast Club also. So
Tony Stark built this in a cave.
Well, I'm sorry, sir. I'm not Tony Stark, and I'm wearing a pink onesie, a bunny onesie.
Errolowl, we're fine.
you should have walked in a little earlier when we were talking about where White Christmas should rank.
We're good.
Only I didn't say fudge.
Only I didn't. So yeah. Anyways, so yeah, at the top of C for right now. And also to clarify, at the end of this, we're going to have like one final, like, do we want to shift anything around? Are we happy with where this is at? We can move things later as well. We did get a Streamlabs from Errolowl saying, Merry Christmas, Adams. I feel like Gollum, like the Hobbits. Adams and Tori. And don't Grinch this list too much,
guys.
Oops!
I just want everyone to know that he wasn't actually doing a real Smeagol voice there. He was just painting the picture for you.
Yeah,
My precious.
Habits.
He's still not actively trying to do a real.
I'm focusing.
He's not trying to do a real
much.
Golem.
I'm trying to focus too much on how to pronounce the word and not so much how to nail the voice. So
he's not really trying here.
Thank you, Errolowl.
Yes, thank you, Rachel.
You sweetheart.
Moving on, we're gonna start with Tori talking about Scrooged.
I think this movie is fine. There's a lot of Christmas Carol / Scrooge movies. There's a lot, and there's one on here that I prefer just like more. And I think the problem is like I'm not gonna watch more than one Christmas Carol movie a year. I'm just not.
True.
I'm gonna pick one, and this isn't the one I'm gonna pick. But I love Bill Murray. And for the sake of time, because I have a lot of other feelings about a lot of other movies on this list, I'm gonna put this in D. And I'm gonna leave it here. I think it's average. Again, it's just not what I would pick. It's not my favorite Christmas Carol Scrooge movie at all. It's probably my least favorite out of the Christmas Carol movies, now that I'm thinking of it. I think the Jim Carrey one is a little better. A little. So it's a D for me for this one.
Chris?
There are 2 movies on this list that I actively dislike. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first one. I watched this movie for the first time this year, and good God, no, this is not it. This is not it at all.
Chris, but the picture, look at this picture.
If the movie was as good as that picture is.
Yeah, the movie's not as good as the picture. Yeah, no. Here's the thing. I feel like they wasted a Bill Murray in this movie. You got a little bit of Bill Murrayism here and there, but for the most part, this was Bill Murray not utilizing his strengths in this movie, I believe. On top of that, I know the Christmas Carol story. I understand it. It's very clear and easy to understand. This movie, for some reason, I could not grasp what was happening at any given point. Whenever another ghost showed up, I was like, cool. Why are they acting and behaving this way? Why is he acting and behaving this way? I get that he's potentially going a little bit insane because he's seeing like Christmas ghosts and stuff like this, but I don't understand why him and the ghost of Christmas Present are punching each other and slapping each other. I don't understand what's going on or why this is happening. None of this makes sense. There's a good chunk of this movie that I just don't get. It just makes no sense to me. I don't know why they made the choices they made. I feel like this movie easily could have been way better than it was in many ways. And then by the time it got to the ending, it's like, oh yeah, so I learned my lesson. We should all be kind to each other now. And I'm like, that happened quick and out of nowhere, and I don't understand why it did or what progression he had throughout it's just F. Mm-hmm. Scrooge is F. Pass. Yes, Bobcat Goldthwait is the only really redeemable aspect of this movie.
Is that a real person?
Other than the few moments you get good Bill Murray action. But
who's Bobcat?
Bobcat Goldthwait, no!
My God, it's so weird.
It's kind of more like a dying cat than Bobcat Goldthwait on my end, but
the dying Bobcat. Anyways, yeah, pretty much everything Chris said. Agreed. Underutilized Bill Murray. If they would have made his personality like closer to like Phil Connors from Groundhog Day, it probably would have been a better movie. I used to think like maybe closer to Peter Venkman, but I think that might be a little too over the top and also really kind of getting away from the fact that he's supposed to be an asshole like Scrooge. So yeah, this was not a fun movie for me. I get what they're trying to do. It's supposed to be fun, but I don't see the fun in it. So yeah, F.
I will never watch this movie again.
So Tori's got a D, and then we've got 2 Fs. So as of right now, it's going to be the...
Stop it.
You said D. Stop it, Tori. It's going to go at the high end of F for right now, and probably stay there.
Oh, never mind.
Chris.
Yo.
Christmas Vacation.
Oh, Christmas Vacation's fun.
The hell was that?
So here's the thing. I think Christmas Vacation is one of those that I like this movie. Again, there's only 2 movies on this list I actively dislike. Everything else, I range anywhere from I really enjoy it to it's okay. This movie is in the middle. For me, it's in the middle of the I really enjoy it to it's okay. It's on the higher end of the it's okay range for me. I did enjoy it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was yes, those were wine noises. I think that's actually really funny. Honestly, the entire movie was really made for me during his funny little speech that he gives. We all know which one. The one where he's like going off on his like boss or whatever.
Yeah, after he finds out he gets like the jelly or jam of the month club or whatever it was. Yeah.
Which is such a real moment. Like
that's the gift that keeps giving year round.
That was the moment of the movie for me. That is what actually I think elevates this movie's ranking, in my opinion, was honestly that scene. But the rest of it is if you have a family, did the whole Christmas thing, there like Christmas Story, this one also has some very relatable beats in it. I imagine if I were the father of a family, this would have probably even more relatable beats to me, because I would understand from a deeper level what Clark is going through here. So for me, it is where did I put this? I put this at it's in the C tier for me. It's in the C tier. But really enjoy it. It is actually really good.
Tori?
I love this movie. This is my favorite, like, humorous Christmas movie. I didn't like it as much the first time I saw it when I was a kid. And then, like, A Christmas Story and this, like, switched in terms of, like, my humorous Christmas movies. And as an adult, I just find this movie really hilarious. I think it's just very real. Like, the jelly of the month, like, I just, like, oh my God. And then for me, like, what seals it, and like, I love this moment in itself sells the movie for me, but it's the SWAT moment. It's the SWAT moment, because I've dealt with a SWAT team before. My office job was swatted. I've dealt with.
Wait, pause the marquee. Let's hear this story now.
Story time.
I was in an office.
It's welcome to Story Tory time.
I was in an office, drunk Tory time. I was in an office and someone taps me on the shoulder, and I turn around and it's a cop with his gun at me, and I was like, you know, as you do.
That's your response to a gun at you?
And my first reaction, he was like, you need to get outside. I was like, no, why? And he's like, just get up.
No, I don't think so. No.
And I was like, okay. And it turns out my office, we had like little offices in the front that we rented out to people. Like, there was like a lawyer office, and there was like a bunch of other little offices. And someone had rented the office for movie recordings, and they recorded an audio recording of them, an audition of them acting as if they were robbing a bank. So it was them screaming into a microphone, like, get on the ground, I have a gun, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, very, very realistic, like, them acting as if they were robbing somewhere.
This issue is solved if you just, like, give the heads up to other people, and you're just like, hey, this is going to be happening later today.
Yeah, so someone in the office next to them called, like, I hear someone saying they have a gun in the room next to me. I don't know what's going on. And so the SWAT team came, and I saw them, like, in full formation, like, go into our office building and, like, act as if there was someone with a gun. And they, like, smoke grenaded this man. And he was probably like, sorry. Whoops. Anyway.
So he responds like you with a gun.
Like,
smoke.
could you imagine you're recording something on your little computer and all of a sudden a smoke grenade rolls in?
I'm still trying to imagine Tori with a gun pointed at his
I was like very defiant of the cops. Anyway.
Oh, you sound like it. You put up a firm, very firm anti-defensive.
I was like, what? So as someone who has been swatted, as a swatted woman, I find the SWAT scenes so funny. Like, because like they have no idea, and it's like so ridiculous, and the music that's playing, like, it makes me laugh every time. And for me, this is A. Long story short, because it's not as good to me as some other movies we have on here, but it's solid, and there's moments in it that are just. Also, who is in this picture? I was trying to look at it. Like, that's not the dad.
Chevy Chase.
Yeah, Chevy Chase.
Okay. I was like, who the fuck is
So-
that? Like,
So
getting
what tier are you putting that, Tori?
A. I said A.
A.
Did I miss it? I said A.
A for
Yeah, so apparently I went out of the order there, but yeah, pretty much everything Chris said. That's a very C movie for me. It's just, I've started noticing as I get older, I don't like movies where
I don't like
lead.
movies.
I don't like movies.
I
don't know
like
why
movies.
I started a YouTube channel talking about movies, but whatever. Had to start a YouTube channel about something. Might as well make
You
it
like
movies.
everything else less than movies, but you still don't like movies.
Yeah, I
It
don't
was
like
either
the
this or rocks. So movies.
Look, Tori, you said the F word again, and here they come again.
It's
Oh.
true. That might be it.
Tired of being alone will help you. Wait, I want to know what. Anyways, yeah, like
Stop it.
I'm tired of movies where the
Tired of being
the
alone.
protagonist keeps getting in their own way. They keep causing their own mistakes. So like those movies are just really starting to annoy me a little. Kind of like Meet the Parents did that. Like that those kinds of movies. Which I mean, that's pretty much all of the vacation movies for the most part. It's all
There's
right
one other
though.
movie on this list that does that too.
Yeah, there's another one coming up that does it even more, and I feel like I'm probably just about the same level of. Oh no, I like that one a little more actually. Yeah.
Oh,
So
really? Okay.
yeah, this is. I don't think this one's as fun as the other vacation movies, but I still think it's kind of funny. There's some really good humorous moments in this. So yeah, C. So we got CAC.
See?
Cack. Motherfucker.
Chris,
Motherfuckers.
watch your language.
Hey, cack motherfucker.
You gotta say it with like the Jewish, the chutzpah.
There's no H in it though.
That's fine.
CAC.
That's okay.
So it's gonna be.
Pools are
gonna be-
expensive, AF. They are.
The maintenance on them and upkeep with them too.
That's some wealthy people shit.
All right. Next movie on to me. This is gonna be Home Alone. Childhood favorite, classic movie. Stupid as it is, it's a lot of fun. I very much enjoy it. This is an S tier. Tori.
I haven't seen this movie in a while, but I used to watch it every year growing up. I think it's funny. It's not one of my favorites, so for me, it would be A. This is not okay. To keep track, this is not where the turtle doves lady is, right? That's 2.
That's
Yeah,
the second
so-
one, yes.
Okay, I like 2 more. So for me, the first one would probably be A. It would not be S.
Okay. I thought you were going to interrupt and tell us about a time where like thieves broke into your home and held you at gunpoint and you were like, But apparently I was wrong, hoping for the best and getting your opinion of a movie for a tier ranking show. Chris.
Yeah, I like Home Alone. Home Alone is it's one of those like childhood classics. Absolutely. It's a good time. It's one I may not watch every single year, but will at the very least watch every other year. So it's a solid routine watch. Both it and its sequel, honestly. This one I think you gotta rank it maybe a little bit more than Home Alone 2. Just because it was the first, it did it the best. I like both.
Does that mean
of them.
Robert's the best because he was the first?
Works for movies, not necessarily for people. So this one was pretty good. I don't necessarily know that I would put it in the S tier, but it does land in A for me as it was. It has a lot of very classic fun moments with him basically attempting murder of 2 burglars, even though they didn't die.
I mean, you could like actually say that he was defending the house, which is fine
Sure.
until he leaves the house and intentionally like causes them to follow him to the next door neighbor's house. And
I
then
think a lot of in most states the legal standing is if you can leave or run away and you
you
choose to
should.
hurt someone, then you can get charged with assault or murder if you.
A lot of them do still have like stand your ground laws.
Yeah, certain states that stand your ground. If you stand your ground, like we're getting into political
I
politics.
still need to know if the toothbrush was approved by the ADA.
If you're in Texas or whatever states that stand your ground, then yeah. But if you're in like New York or like I think it's a majority. Oh my god, the Tinder. Our girls write first.
They write first? What?
All right. So here's the thing we can do is stop talking about them. That's just a fun thing that you can do when you're talking about Christmas movies.
Anyways, so Home Alone's going to go at the top of A. Moving on to its sequel, Tori, the one with the bird lady.
The turtle dove lady.
The Home Alone 2, lost in the New Yorkers.
I think this movie's cute. I'm from New York. Maybe I'm biased. I don't know. But we love a New York movie. We love the turtle dove lady. We love feeding the pigeons. I don't keep bringing up the Tinder girls. They keep bringing themselves up. Okay. I like this a little more than the first one, you know? So for me, this would be S. I think, again, it's pretty much like the first one to a T. It's just like there's some slight differences that like I think some people have preferences for it, but as far as sequels go, I think it's really solid. Same premise pretty much. His family neglects him and should be charged with something. And then he's in New York City this time. So there's New York City tropes, but he does the same shenanigans. So if you like the first one, you'll probably like this one. It's just I think some people like this one more. Some people like the first one more. I like this one more. So S.
Chris?
This is the definition of if it works in the first movie, do it again, but let's go bigger. And by go bigger, we mean we're just going to do it in New York. It's good. It's good. Like, again, the first two, well, I mean, there are technically other Home Alones. So these two, though, stand alone of all the Home Alones. Haha. But they are honestly almost equally as good in my mind. I will say that I do have these separate. I put this one at B tier, but at any given moment, I feel like my opinion can flip flop on which one I do actually rate higher than the other one. I did put the first one higher just because it's, again, like I said, it was the first one. It came in, it did it best the first time. So I like them both almost equally. Here's the thing. I'm not going to watch the first one and not watch the second one. So they're kind of a dual package whenever I watch Home Alone. You got to watch both of them, kind of a situation. So I like it, but I'm sliding this one in B tier.
All right. As for me, this is also S tier. For the same reasons the first one is, kind of like what Chris just said. Same as the first movie, only bigger and in New York. Absolutely love this movie. It's a lot of fun. So I'm also putting it S, which makes this SBS, which would put it right behind the first one, which I feel like is a rightful place for it.
Yeah. Yeah. The first one doesn't have a turtle dove lady.
This is actually a very excellent question. How does Kevin get from JFK to Rockefeller Center and to the top of the trade towers in half an hour?
Easily, he teleports.
Christmas magic.
Probably good to not think about it too hard. It's a movie. But otherwise,
Chris is sassy.
It's true. It's true. I mean, how does he do that? He's a magic kid.
We will be talking about teleportation a lot on the next Marquee.
Home Alone 3. All right. Throw it in F.
No.
Oh.
The first Marquee of 2023 will involve a lot of teleportation talk. I will clarify some more as to what that is going to be at the end of this episode. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
So stick around.
If I just said it, would you like slap me across the screen?
Seeing how we're in Texas and you're in... Yeah, okay. There's also that.
So anyway, next movie.
And we're gonna start with Oh, okay. We're starting with Chris on this one.
Yeah.
Muppet Christmas Carol.
Muppet Christmas Carol is peak of the Christmas carols. It is one of best Christmas carols. Granted, okay, I'm gonna out myself here. Haven't seen the OG. Even the one that we talk about is the OG. I don't even know at this point. I haven't seen an older Christmas Carol prior to the 80s, I believe. I think
also, George C. Scott one came out in the mid 80s, and then the older one than that was the one with Alistair Sim as
I haven't seen either one of those.
I think there's one other older than that, but the Alistair Sim was the one that's probably the more common.
I have not
George C. Scott.
I have not bear witness to any of those Christmas carols. I have seen, however, this Christmas Carol and obviously Scrooged and some other iterations, but this one's pretty good. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with Muppets. I know that maybe in the past, there's moments where I probably would have ranked it lower, but in this situation, the memory of it, even though I haven't watched it this year, the memory of it from, I think, having seen it last year for the first time, serves me well in that over time, this one has grown a little bit more fonder in my mind. I like it. I think there's some really good songs. There's some really good comedy. There's an absolutely stellar performance from why is my mind blanking on his name right now? Michael Caine. There it is. I just had to find the Michael Caine accent in my head, and I got it. Yeah, absolutely stellar performance. He's not in a Muppet movie. He's in a completely different movie, and it serves this movie very well. Most times you hear people saying like they're acting like they're in a completely different movie, and that's usually meant as an insult. In this case, Michael Caine is acting himself solid in a movie that he didn't have to. He did not have to go that hard. So I give this some pretty solid ranks. I'll throw it at the bottom of S tier.
Although not a completely serious take on the Christmas Carol story, it is definitely one of the most fun. I don't know. Like, I think there might be one other version of A Christmas Carol that I might like a little bit more than this. But it's not by much. I do have this as an A. The Jacob Marley being played by Statler or Waldorf are so good.
Yeah. The Marley rule.
Yeah. Tori.
It's hard to go hard with Muppets, you know what I mean? It's just...
Gotta go soft with them.
You gotta go soft with them. It's hard to go hard. I like the Muppets. I like this movie. I like... What's his face? Alfred.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
I like Alfred. I showed Ariana this movie this week too, and she really liked it. And I was like, "Guess who's Scrooge?" And she was like, "Who?" Because she didn't know. And I was like, "Guess." And then we waited for him to come on screen, and she was like, "Ah, it's Alfred." And yeah, just like knowing him from Why every time I talk, anyway.
Hush.
Knowing him from his more serious roles, it's really funny to see him in this. And it could have had Cookie Monster and it would have been God tier, but it didn't. But it's still like the Christmas Carol I will go to. I think it's funny. There's like the narration element is really funny. The fucking, is it the Ghost of Future Past, the baby ghost? I hate. Every time I have to watch this movie, I have to go through that. The scary one.
Yeah. It's one of those. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
I hate her. She's not a vibe. I don't like her. But I say this movie's S tier. Muppets are funny. They're silly. I look like a Muppet sometimes, So it's my people. It's S tier.
Tori is a Muppet.
I'm a Muppet.
So we got S, A, and an S. So it's gonna go into S.
Did you know there's a Muppet named Rizzo? He's got a lot of he's got a lot of charm. He's got a lot of charm. He's got a lot of
Robert, do you know what that means?
What, Rizzo?
He's got a lot of charisma.
Having Riz. Robert, if I say you have W Riz, do you know what that means?
Well, first of all, you'd be lying, but second of all,
I have a big foot.
No,
I don't know.
It means you got game. Riz is just, do you have game?
It means you have a lot of charisma.
W is winning.
I mean,
is losing.
I probably do, and I just don't care.
It derives from the word charisma.
Oh, that makes sense. Who's the people out here that make up these things? Like, who was it? Who's the influencer who was like, you know what? I'm just going to take the word Riz
my
and
people, Gen Z.
I have an answer for that, actually, and I'm not going to say it on air.
The rats don't rule the city. We do.
I actually have a specific name I could attach to that.
I'm still trying to figure out like why standing something is so popular when Stan came out like in 2002 or whatever. It's like,
I think
over a decade later, we're now using Stan in that.
I think Stan is actually run its course now. I don't think anyone says Stan anymore.
Okay.
I haven't heard it in like a year and a half.
All right. So let's see. This next one
Robert,
we're going
Stan
to.
was such like a 2018 thing.
Yeah. From a song in 2002. Okay.
Stan went out with COVID.
So going on with me, next one is Miracle on 34th Street, the remake.
Ooh.
1994 remake. This was good. This was a good remake. A couple of things were changed. Like I know the original movie did actually call the store Macy's. It was actually like they were allowed to use the name Macy's. This one they had to change it. Otherwise, Richard Attenborough coming off of his fantastic performance in Jurassic Park was like the perfect Santa Claus.
I just put that together. That's him. The way you saying that.
Yeah. He spared no expense on being Santa Claus. Mara Wilson is really good in this. Who's Mara Wilson's mom? Isn't that Elizabeth Perkins?
Yes.
Yeah, she was good in that. Like this movie they did a very good job of a remake, but taking it and kind of modernizing it a bit. I thought it was really good. So I do have this as a C. All that talking up I did, it's a C. Only because I like the other movies more. This is more of a classic Christmas movie. There's no like real anything special, no hokiness to it. It's just a straight, simple, magical Christmas story. So I got it at C. Tori.
I like how you're like, oh, so brilliant. C.
Yeah.
So brilliant. Average.
Good job. Is that your opinion too?
No.
Where are you ranking this? Yes.
I think this is S tier. I think it's Miracle on 34th Street. This is like, I would have shown Ariana this to get her opinion, but the scene where he's like in the store with the where he does sign language, like, come on, what are we doing? Like, he is Santa Claus. Like, he is such a good Santa Claus. And I think again it captures a lot of the essence of Santa Claus. I think like the court stuff I care less about than some other movies, but overall, like, there's just some cute moments in this, and yeah, it's S. I'm too drunk to argue more about it. Yes.
Chris, have you been sipping on the eggnog too, or do you have a full?
No, I'm actually hydrated. I got water over here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I mean, yeah, eggnog all day, every day, baby. Let's do this. Yeah, Miracle on 34th Street. This movie's a shit, yo.
It's Riz.
This movie is the shit, not is shit.
That's got Riz.
Don't get it mixed up. Anyway. The hell happened to me there? Miracle on 34th Street is a lovely, lovely movie. It's a lot of fun. I pretty sure I've seen this before, but I rewatched it this year just to refresh myself with it. It's a lot of fun. It's good. I feel like it's a solid Christmas classic movie. It's got some like some weird like plot holes and stuff here and there in it, but I don't think you can have a movie about Santa without some plot holes, just because I think Santa as a concept, as a real person,
Claus
has
is
a lot of
perfection.
plot holes himself.
Wait till we get to the next one.
Sure.
Claus, perfection.
Anyway, this was a delight. Richard Attenborough, I love that guy. He's just so delightful to watch on screen, even if he's not like, even if he's maybe like slightly uncouth in Jurassic Park. He is a little bit more couth as Santa Claus, and I really enjoyed his couthness in Miracle on 34th Street. I just wanted to use that word. His couthiness. I just wanted to use that word. Anyway, I throw this in the B tier for me. It's a good one.
You should really get permission before you look at another man's couth.
Look, if Santa's out here showing off his couthness to everybody, it's I don't have to ask for permission. He just gives it.
All right, so we got a C, an S, and a B.
Mm-hmm. C, S, and B.
Yeah, it's going to go to the end of A. That feels about right.
Feels like a natural location for
a Jurassic Park.
Welcome to...
This is a prequel.
C.
Santa went on to open up a theme park featuring dinosaurs, cloned dinosaurs.
No, it's actually going to go at the top of B.
Worried about whether or not he could. He didn't stop to think about whether or not he should.
Anyways. All right, next one, starting with Tori. The Santa Claus. Speaking of plot holes.
Oh, God.
This was plot hole the movie.
So funny enough, I liked this movie. Like, as a kid, I liked this movie a lot. I actually liked the third one a lot. As a kid,
that's Gen Z right there.
I had a crush on Jack Frost.
Martin Short. You know, a crush on Martin Short?
Can you not judge me? This is a safe space.
No, that's the best thing I ever heard.
Tori, have you seen Inner Space?
No. He was like a little naughty. He was like, I wanna fuck up this.
Oh, she said the F word. Be prepared for the bots again.
Stop talking about the bots.
He was like, I want to fudge up this Christmas shop. No, I like.
She didn't say fudge.
I like the third one a lot. The first one, I don't go to this one as much. I don't know. Like, it's not my favorite funny Christmas movie. It's not my favorite Christmas movie. I didn't have a dad growing up, and I feel like if I did, I would like this more. It's a very dad movie. Like, this is like a dad Christmas movie. I haven't seen this in a few years. I would watch it again and again. It's one of those, like, if someone put it on, I wouldn't be mad. But for me, this would be like a C. This would be like a prime C movie. It's very average for me. I would put the third one higher if we were doing that. But.
Chris?
Might do the second and third one next year, actually. I think about it. This is an S tier Christmas movie for me.
And I remember you guys are obsessed with this. Okay.
I love this movie. This is literally my favorite Christmas movie. This is the Christmas movie I will actively try to watch every single year. I love it. I don't give a flying flip about any plot holes or whatever. I don't care.
What is the plot hole people call out?
I don't know. He'll probably mention it when he talks. For me, I really enjoy this movie. I want to try Judy's freaking hot cocoa. I want to try it so bad, but that's the best shit on the face of this earth, I'm sure. I want to know her 1,000-year-old recipe, whatever. I'm excited for that. I haven't watched this movie yet this year, and honestly, if there's time once we're done tonight, there probably won't be. I'll probably end up watching it tomorrow night, to be honest. I love this movie so much. I really enjoy Tim Allen in this movie. It's a lot of fun. I think it's kind of a product of the 90s for sure, but at the same time, I think that's where it has a lot of charm. It's got a lot of charm in that fact. I love it. I think it's great. Personal favorite. It's an S tier for me.
Did you see there is a Binging with Babish episode where he recreates Judy's hot chocolate?
Ooh,
It's pretty good. Yeah,
Julie's hot chocolate, Polar Express hot chocolate.
I can't remember if he did Polar Express hot chocolate also. I don't know. Yeah, my issue with like the plot holes, and I guess Lego's also pointing out plot holes and a logical fallacy, is all these movies that are all like Santa's actually real. And I was actually talking to Chris about this last night, is all the parents still are parents that are buying the presents for their kids. So if Santa actually is real and he actually is delivering parents to these kids, he's delivering presents to the kids. I haven't.
Congratulations, orphan child! You now have parents. Merry Christmas.
On your curd.
But like, no. What are these parents thinking? Like, well, I didn't buy that. Where did this present come from? Like, that is the biggest plot hole that I hate in all of those movies. But it is what it is, and this movie is an S. I agree with my brother. This movie is really good. As dumb and stupid as it can be, it is a good movie. It is a good, dumb, and stupid, and I love it.
It's far better than its sequels.
Yeah, I don't like 2 and 3 that much. I haven't even bothered with the Disney Plus show yet.
I haven't watched the Disney Plus show either. I will say 3 is fun because of Martin Short. I think he's the only thing that does actually make 3 watchable. 2 is all right in the concept of what they were doing, but some of its execution's a little wonky.
Which one had the plastic soldier Santa? Is that the third one?
The third one? I don't think so. So Jack Frost comes, they go in the snow globe, and Jack Frost takes over.
Yeah, I think it's the second one then.
I think it's the second one.
Because he has the plastic Santa the soldier Santa while he goes home to find a wife.
I like to call him Ultron Santa.
Ultron Santa. Yeah.
He behaves like Ultron a little bit.
I don't like 2 or 3 solely because Bernard is not in them. And don't give me that what's his face is as good of a Bernard. He's not.
I thought he was in the third one.
I saw a post that said
or
the
he was
key
in
to
the second one,
bisexuality is whether or not you wanted to fuck Bernard in the Santa Claus. And you know,
I did not.
It's the key.
He's in one of the other 2. He's not.
He's in the TV show.
He's only missing from one of the sequels.
No. Anyways, next one. Moving on. Are we starting with Chris?
This is correct. He is an
Bernard is an S tier character. Yes.
He awakened a lot of people.
Tori started with Santa, so yes, it's me.
Jingle all the way.
Yeah, get down. I want the Turbo Man. Nobody wants Booster. Get him out of here. Get out of my way, Sinbad. Go deliver some mail.
Go deliver your bombs.
Go deliver your bombs, you crazy man. Take it to a radio station.
This movie is fun. This movie is just
put the cookie down.
Put my cookies down.
It's the fact that Arnold Schwarzenegger is playing completely against type all the way through this movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger is not a suburban dad. He's not. He is military guy. He's high action guy, high octane dude. He's not suburban dad. I think this movie's fine. It's fun. It's definitely more fun for kids, I think, although there's definitely some stuff in this movie that would go right over some kids' heads.
Anything involving Phil Hartman's character.
Anything involving Phil Hartman's character, absolutely. Where's your mother at? Oh, she's next door petting Ted, talking about the reindeer that the kid named after his dad, after Phil Hartman's character. He's like, he's doing what? She's doing what now? It's like, wouldn't have caught that as a kid. This movie it's fine. It's got a lot of like crazy antics in it that just don't make any sense. It's very much a live action cartoon. A lot of what happens in this movie is cartoonish. I think you see a lot of that in a lot of 90s movies that were geared more towards families or children. You would see a lot of those cartoonish elements just because that's what kids liked the most, was anything that had that kind of wacky, crazy nature to it. This movie is no exception to that. It definitely did have that. As a concept, it is actually a lot of fun to watch Arnold Schwarzenegger run across town just trying to find a toy for his son. Although I'm sure you'll bring it up, there's many aspects of this that could have been solved. The whole movie could have been solved with really one specific aspect, and it would have solved all the pain and torment of the movie, and everything would have actually been okay. But I'll let you touch on that because I'm sure you want to. It was fine. It's okay. It's not nearly close to being my favorite Christmas movie. It is on the lower end of my list, but again, like I said, there's only 2 movies on this list I actively dislike. Jingle All the Way is not one of them. I am putting it in the D tier though.
This would be the other movie that I was making reference to, and that like everything just keeps going wrong for him, like Christmas Vacation or Meet the Parents type of situations. So I watched this movie for the first time probably back in the 90s, and I wasn't a fan. I rewatched it again for the first time probably since the 90s a couple of nights ago. It was a lot more fun. I had a lot more fun with it than I remember. So my opinion and ranking of it kind of went up a bit. There's a lot of stupidity in this movie, though. And I will say, as an adult now, compared to like the 90s when this movie came out, I was like a teenager and stuff. So that's probably why I didn't really care. I didn't care about a father connecting with his son at all. So
fuck dads.
Yeah. So in the
happening right now.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going. But nowadays I'm watching this, and the first thing, like within 30 minutes into this movie, I'm like, I would just rather be a bad father. I'll be a bad parent. Like, screw this stupid toy. Sorry, I screwed up. I didn't pick up the toy. My bad. Whatever. I'd rather live with that than go through all the crap that Arnold goes through in this movie.
Because let's be honest about what's going to happen if he does that. Wife's going to be angry at him. Son's going to be angry at him. They'll be angry for, a day. It's Christmas. They're going to still love him. They're hanging out as a family, doing Christmas things together. They'll both get over it. He'll get the toy for the kid later when it's available. Everyone's happy. It's problem solved.
Yeah.
No having to fight Santas in a bootleg Santa warehouse.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's all right. So yeah, this movie, I put it as a B. I thought it was cute. I thought it was fun, but yeah, absurd. No way I would do what he does in this movie. No one's ever going to mistake me for Arnold Schwarzenegger, so I feel like I'm okay with that. Tori.
Pretty much what you all said. I will say, like, looking at the movies on the list compared to this, this fits pretty nicely in a D tier for me. I don't hate it, but I don't ever really go to it. Like, it wasn't something I saw as a kid. What year did this come out? Like in the
96?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't go to it as a kid. I didn't honestly even hear about it until I was like an adult. And it doesn't have a nostalgia factor for me, and it's funny, but it's not as funny as like National Lampoon or A Christmas Story for me, or even Home Alone. So I put it in a D. D for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Ooh, careful with that pronunciation while you're sipping alcohol, Tori.
I said it pretty clearly.
Don't say my name again, please.
Okay. Arnold.
Just say my first name only. Just leave it at that. Everybody knows who you're talking about.
Tori's like,
I was trying to find a beer opener and I can't find it.
I'm not a big fan of that Arnold Schwarzeneggers.
Stop it. God, for the love of all things good and holy, both of you shut up. Stop it. I'm watching our channel's life flash before my eyes right now.
Anyways, all right, so that started with Chris.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll go to me with How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This one's a little weird, I would say, for my... Okay, bye, Tori.
Terrified her.
I'm gonna try to find a beer opener.
Just yell for one, it'll come. Beer opener. Or I've got one right here, Tori. Do you need one still? Okay. Anyways, the thing about this movie, I really like Jim Carrey. This movie came out in 2000, so this is coming off of like all his wonderful performances throughout the 90s. And him as the Grinch, I feel like was like the great casting, especially with the makeup job that they do on him. It is so good. And my thing with this is this movie, I saw this in the theaters, and this was really probably like one of the first movies I watched right after basic training. So I went into military basic training August of 2000. And then by the time December came around, that's when I was able to like leave base and go do things on my own again. So I went to the mall in downtown San Antonio, where Air Force basic training is, and I went to the movie theater and I saw this by myself, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Now I go back and watch it. I don't think it's quite as fun anymore. This movie has a lot of, I'll call it bloating, in that you took a small book, or if you're comparing it to the 60s cartoon that we're all familiar with, a 30-minute cartoon, and you're bloating it out to a full hour and a half to 2 hour runtime. There's a lot of good things this movie does, but the bloating just really drags it down. I don't need the origin of the Grinch. I don't need to see how he was as a kid, his love of Christine Baranski. All of that was just completely unnecessary. The makeup effects, the way the movie looked, the cinematography is great, but just the bloating just really weighs it down. So I have this as a D. Tori.
I love this movie, but I'm also a Gen Z woman. So the memes out of this movie are really good. There's just the memes, you know. You don't really need to pay attention to the plot, Robert. You just coast. You just coast. You go through it and you appreciate it, you know.
This isn't as bloated as another movie we're going to talk about pretty soon, though. You want to talk about bloating?
Listen, I like Jim Carrey in this. Like, I will say, like, if you see like the Universal Grinch right now, like they pretty much base it off of Jim Carrey. Like, it was very inspirational in a lot of ways for the Grinch character. I think the plot overall like was lacking. We didn't need to see like the Martha May stuff. I was like, whatever. You're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, like
that was a classic joke.
Like really good Jim Carrey content. You know, there's booby content. There's
that would be Nerd's comment here.
Yeah, she's really great.
Both of Christine Baranski is great in this movie.
Two really good reasons why.
I'll put this in B. It's solid. It's a solid Gen Z movie.
I will go back real quick since y'all mentioned it, and I completely forgot to mention this. Taylor Momsen as Cindy Lou Who was great. She was perfect casted for that. Yeah. And it's really funny seeing her now. The lead singer of Pretty Reckless. Yeah. Kind of a alternate flip from Cindy Lou Who. But yeah, she was really good in this movie.
She grew up a little bit.
Just a bit. Chris.
For me, I really like this movie, honestly. I know it's got some scripting issues in it, and I'm totally okay with it. This is a nostalgia movie for me. Watched it as a kid, loved it as a kid. I have not seen it in a while, so to be fair, I probably should rewatch it again and get a more adult perspective on it now. But I just know that coming from memory, this movie has a solid place in my mind. It's definitely obviously not one that I threw up there with Santa Claus in terms of got to watch this every year or even every other year. This probably haven't seen this in probably a good 5 years, to be honest. And in which case, totally fine with that. But it does have good nostalgia beats for me. I have watched this more than watching Vernon comments in the chat.
Vernon's
I've watched this
losing
more
his
than
shit in the chat right now.
I've watched this more than Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
I enjoy it more than Jingle All the Way. For me, I do personally have this over Jingle All the Way, but I also have it in the C tier, which is currently where Jingle All the Way is located. So if it stays in C or falls to D, I really don't mind either way. It's fine. This is one of those that, unlike Santa Claus, this really is more of less of a favorite, more of just a nostalgia thing for me. So if it falls down, I don't really mind that much. But yeah, I did put this in C tier for me.
So we've got D, B, and C. So we've got all three. So I mean, technically, it would go to C tier. One tier is allowed to have 4 in it. So
I would argue that tier needs to be S, though.
How do you use a lighter to open a beer?
How do you use a what?
A lighter.
It depends on the kind of lighter.
Heat it from the bottom.
No,
don't do that. Don't do that.
I am going to put it right behind Jingle All the Way. You can stay, Vernon.
No, he's already left.
We might change it later, but I don't know. Anyways, so starting with Tori, we'll go with Bad Santa.
Oh God. This movie's not for me. It's pretty bad. I saw it once. Like, I think what year did it come out? What year did it come out?
2003.
Yeah. I saw it once as a kid. I don't want to think about it anymore. So it's a solid F.
I love that.
It's a solid F.
All right. I don't want to think about this anymore. Chris, thoughts?
Solid F.
All right. me. There are 2 movies on this list that I actively dislike. First is Scrooged. Second is Bad Santa. This movie sucks. Put it in the F tier. I hate it. Good God, this movie was a pain in the ass to watch. I almost really wanted to not watch it and let the chat vote in my place. I will never watch this movie again. I'm never watching its sequel.
All right. I have prepared a statement.
I'm sure I should give more reasons why I dislike it. I don't like the comedy, the nature of the movie, the way it's written. None of it flies with me. None of it.
So my prepared statement: this movie is crass, but somewhat heartwarming. I like these alternative Christmas movies. It's a nice break from the overly happy movies. Not everything has to be sugar plums and fairies.
Yes, it does.
I rate this as a C.
I'm surprised you got it that high. Or actually, no. Actually, I'm surprised you aren't putting it higher based on how you talk about it.
You like this movie, Robert? Really?
I think it's fun. I think
there's a reason it's on this list. He's the reason it's on the list.
So we got a C and 2 Fs. So at the very end of D, that's very likely going to probably make its way back down to F by the end of this.
Yes, it will. What?
What?
And
I also am like Tori. After I watched it this year, I don't want to think about it anymore.
Yeah.
So going to Chris for the next one.
Yay.
It's another major classic everyone loves, so good luck. Elf.
Ah, yeah, a bunch of cotton-headed ninny muggins. Elf is just a good time. Honestly, like Elf. I get it. I get some people's disliking of Elf. It's kind of a movie that kind of just exists for some people. But for me, I think Elf is a lot of fun. I think it does a lot of like really good. It hits a lot of really good nostalgia beats, even though it's a more recent movie for someone like myself. It hits some really good nostalgia beats because it does the Rankin Bass type animation at the beginning, which I thought was such a wonderful touch. Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad. Thanks, Mr. Narwhal. I love it. Will Ferrell, perfectly casted for this role. He's just an utter goofball, and this role required an utter goofball like him. James Caan playing his dad, another perfect cast in this situation because he's such a serious, not taking
Great
anything
man.
from anyone type of guy. That being pitted against or juxtaposed against such a goof nature of Will Ferrell was kind of fun to watch. Has one of the best. I feel like has one of the best Santa Clauses on film.
Ed Asner. Yeah.
Ed Asner was fantastic as Santa Claus. Yes, as mentioned in the chat, Zooey Deschanel. You cannot forget Zooey Deschanel in this. She was delightful. Just I think it's a lot of fun. And then like the second half of the movie becomes like a race against time type situation, and it kind of turns genre by the end of the movie, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So
Jeremy Miller. You get out, sir. Just
call me Elf one more time.
One more time. Yeah. Anyways, where are you ranking it?
Elf for me is A tier.
A. Okay. Yeah, so what's funny about this is not my favorite. This is probably the one movie that I'm just not a huge fan of, yet typically against my will, I'm watching this movie every freaking year. And it's usually because of some form of a YouTube watch along. Like we're doing a watch along of this movie somewhere, whether it's our channel or someone else's channel or whatever. We're always watching Elf every year. It's cute. It's fun. I enjoy it, but it's just not my go-to favorite. I still have it as a B though. I mean, it's fun, but
that's fine.
Tori.
I liked it more as a kid. Again, as an adult, I don't know. I guess it became more of a Scrooge. I don't like a lot of the Christmas movies I did. But I don't like the second half. The first half is cute. We love a dad story when you find your dad that doesn't like you. We love it. We love that story. We've seen it before.
Time and
You'll
time
be like,
again.
"Hey, Dad,"
Some
and
people more than others.
Tale as
you're
old
like,
as
"Hey,
time.
Dad," and he's like, "Can you not?"
Song as old as rhyme.
Song as old as
Finding my
rhyme.
dad who doesn't love me.
Your dad who doesn't know your birthday, like it happens to us. And I really appreciate that, but it's not as good as a lot of the other movies on here. So I'm gonna give it a D.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Tori's Gen Z nature not coming through on this one.
No.
Garth. Listen to guys creepily hang out near a woman showering without her knowing her. She's showering at work, though. I've never worked someplace that had a shower.
No. There's no though to the comment that Garth just made.
No, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying, like, I've never worked someplace that had a shower.
Okay, just wanted to give you a chance to say that you're not defending it.
No, not at all. But that is pretty funny.
But he's innocent.
Yeah,
That's what they all say.
Like, not only like hanging out near her showering, but they're singing "Baby, It's Cold Outside."
I really can't stay.
I really
So
can't
we've
say.
got A, B, and D.
No, I really can't stay. I gotta go. I got work in the morning.
No, you don't.
I'm not talking. I'm not talking. Okay.
A, B, and D. So it's going to go at the end of B.
Sure. Oh, this next one's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun with this. Who's starting this one?
You are.
I am.
I did Elf.
Okay.
I think. I did Elf, right? Yeah, I did Elf.
Yeah.
You're still kind of going back and forth, but whatever.
Tori, I like you as a friend, but
Oh God, what is this?
I'm sorry, Tori.
What is this?
The
What
Polar
is this?
Express.
Why do we always gotta go here?
I just watched this for the first time last night. And why didn't someone give me the heads up that I should have actually included this on the Christmas horror movie?
What is it with
Here,
old
Ricky.
people?
This
and
movie is fucking
Okay. Anyone
scary.
over 25 and the Polar Express is like, it's so scary. Ooh, it's so scary.
When the kid first gets on the train.
Afraid of it? What are you seeing that we're not seeing?
The kid first gets on the train and the little girl is staring at him like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
like that was creepy. Like what does that mean? The overly anxious girlfriend or whatever? Lania Morris, I think is her real name. She did the video for Justin Bieber and she made that face. That
Overly
was
attached
less,
girlfriend.
That was overly attached girlfriend. That's it. That was way less creepy than the faces in this movie. The girl on the train and the know-it-all kid that's voiced by Eddie Deason. Oh my God. Just the faces and all the elves, not just one elf in particular, although the Steven Tyler elf is really, all the rest of the elves, fucking hideous. This movie is a acid trip just waiting to happen. I would actually rather rewatch Mad God than watch this again. Jokes aside, though, this is a cute movie. The storyline is cute, but this is also kind of like what I was saying with Grinch. This is a movie that that suffers a lot from over bloatation because you took a small, tiny little kid's book and turned it into a feature-length film. It really drags on some of the stuff. There's some cool moments in this. I actually thought the train skating across the ice, I thought that was kind of a wild sequence. It was completely unbelievable, but so was Fast and the Furious, and they did the same damn thing with the submarine chasing them. So whatever. If it's good enough for Vin Diesel, it's good enough for Robert Zemeckis and Tom Hanks.
Playing every character.
I love having
kinda
the
funny.
channel. I love having a channel that talks about movies online because nowhere else can you find anybody comparing the Polar Express to the submarine chase in Fast and Furious 8.
I mean, there's some cute parts of this movie. If you close your eyes and you don't look at the hideous fucking children, it's a cute movie. It's got a really good message to it. But God, it's so scary looking. It was terrifying. I am a 41-year-old man and I was terrified in my own bedroom staring at this very computer screen right here. So I have this as a big fat F. I will never watch this again. Oh, now that I've completely crushed Tori's holiday spirit, please tell us why you love this movie, Tori.
I don't understand what is the problem with old people in this movie. Like, I swear to God, everyone my age
Did you
was
just
like,
call me old?
If the shoe fits.
anyone over 25 has a real problem with this movie. Everyone my
lopers do
age,
fit.
everyone my age was like, "Oh, the Polar Express, love it, so cute!" Like the hot chocolate. We all were so about it. And then I encountered millennials, and y'all were like, "Ugh, the Polar Express is so scary. It's so scary. Look at the uncanny valley." Like, no kid was like, "Oh, this is so scary." I swear to God, the Santa Claus is so pretty. The Santa Claus, like, sequence is so cute. The hot chocolate is so cute.
Did nerds say that also? Bloatation, was that a word that Nerd said last night?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's been saying it in the chat this whole time.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. Sorry, Nerd.
I'll be 25 in April, okay? But I've heard like so many people talk about it, and I hadn't heard anyone talk shit about this movie until I encountered people who were in like their 30s. But I swear, like the bell thing of like you can hear a bell ring. If you hear it ring, you still believe or whatever.
Not if you're holding it like this. He holds it with his
do
whole
one more
hand.
time. Do that motion again one more time. Now turn your head slightly to the
no,
and then up, and then open your mouth.
No. Here come the bots again. I'm ready.
It's cute. It's a cute movie, okay? It's like an hour and a half. It's not even like an hour and 45. But yeah, the ice sequence is fun. It's cute. The animation's gorgeous. Like, come on. Tom Hanks is every
Tori, we have different definitions of the word gorgeous.
Tom Hanks plays every character for no reason. Like, no reason. He's the hobo. He's the kid. He's the dad of the kid. He's something else in it.
He's the kid's
Santa Claus.
The kid's torn pocket at the end. Like
he's the torn pocket. He's the hot chocolate. Like he's the
conductor.
conductor.
Every flake of snow.
Yeah, now we're just making a poem. He's the torn pocket. He's the hot chocolate. He's every flake of snow. Like, put a beat on that.
Worst haiku ever.
It's A, Chris. It's A, Chris. Look at me.
What?
It's not F tier.
Oh no, I agree. It's not F tier.
It's the bare bone bottom of D.
I will say though that outside of the two movies that I've already discussed, Bad Santa and Scrooged, I like every other movie on this list. This movie has a lot of good merits to it. The graphics themselves have kind of not aged well.
It's cute.
However,
I think the animation is so pretty.
The story is still good, I believe. The book is a classic, and turning into a movie is a really good thing. Like, I like it. Is it a little bit bloated? I don't know. I guess so. Maybe because how else do you turn a book that doesn't have a whole lot going on into a movie that does have a lot going on?
Santa Claus is so pretty in this. Am I high? Like, what am I seeing?
Yeah, Santa Claus has some dead eyes, so I don't know if I would say he's pretty. Like both eyes are kind of dead, kind of lifeless a little bit. The conductor, I think, looks great. I think when I first saw the conductor, I was like, yeah, that's Tom Hanks. I'm looking at Tom Hanks right now in CGI form. That is Tom Hanks. I think he looks fine. I think the homeless man, the homeless gentleman, ghost gentleman on top of the train, I think he also looks like Tom Hanks, and he also looks perfectly fine. Some of the kids look a little weird. This is the highlight you get on the movie. Some of this does look a little strange.
I'm looking at a picture of the Santa Claus, and he looks gorgeous.
And yeah, so this movie, again, keep in mind, there's only two movies I actively dislike on this list. The rest of them I think are very okay to good. Polar Express. Whereas maybe if you asked me this question last year, I might have probably put it a little bit higher. My adult brain has taken over a little bit more in the course of the last year, I guess. And a lot of these other movies sit higher for me now. Polar Express, I will put in D. Not F. Not F. D. But not F.
I'll never understand the millennial. Someone needs to do a psychological study of the millennial conundrum with this movie. I swear.
So we've got an F, an A, and a D.
I don't know, Tori, because I read this book when I was a kid. This book has been around since I was a
Maybe
child.
that's what I never read the book, so maybe that was why. I was like, wow. Cute story.
Wow. Look at Santa Claus's
Wow.
pretty dead eyes.
He's
Wow.
not dead.
His porcelain skin. Wow.
It's like how young adults can hear higher frequencies than adults. Like, I can see the animation.
All right, so
As you age, you can't see it anymore.
This one is going to technically.
Oh God. Oh. Also, how old is Lego?
Close to my age.
What? Everyone's 30. I swear to God.
So this one is probably going to bump Grinch down to D.
Oh, look at that. Somebody call Vernon back.
And Polar Express is going to go. I might argue that one later.
Well, I'm going to argue that S tier gets the 4 movies, but yes.
Yeah. All right. Flickin' Reel. Is that Jesse?
That's
Jesse
Jesse.
in here. Klaus will be coming up, Jesse. So it's coming up soon. Before we get to Klaus, though, we're going to start with Tori. Christmas Chronicles.
I
Christmas
forget that
Chronicles.
this movie exists. F. Like when you just said this, I was like, what? I was like, what is this movie? Like,
And
it came out
Tori is
last
here.
year?
Tori is here to intentionally keep the show under 2 hours long.
Listen, I don't like. What are we talking about here? Who's gonna be like, you know, what's in my necessary Christmas list?
Tori, you might need to rewatch this because this is definitely your definition of Kurt Russell as a zaddy.
Oh, yeah.
Even if he is a zaddy, we're not talking about the top zaddy movies, the Marquee. That's a whole different show.
Tori didn't watch this under the proper emotions, the proper. Basically, you should watch it right now as soon as we're done with this, and you'll enjoy it.
Oh, well, listen. Yeah, Flickin' Reel turned the movie off 3/4 of the way through. Yeah, what are we talking about? This is F.
Oh,
Chris.
Kurt Russell does a lot of heavy lifting for this movie, to be honest. If it weren't for the fact that Kurt Russell is the one playing Santa, I think this movie would. That and the weirdly animated elves, which again, I will say they also are kind of weird looking, but there's something still charming about them, regardless. If it weren't for Kurt Russell and the charming quality of those elves, I would say this movie is pretty equal to about a Hallmark movie. Like you could find it on a easy watching Hallmark or whatever the other channels are that do the same Christmas movie over and over and over every year.
Lifetime.
Yeah, I don't know about Lifetime, but yeah, something like that.
Lifetime's movies are the wives kill the husband during Christmas. So.
Anyway, this movie has some redeeming qualities, and a lot of them are Kurt Russell. The story itself, I thought, was actually pretty decent too. It is fun. I think it's fine. I don't think it's an instant classic. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as most of the other movies on this list. Again, Kurt Russell, I think, is the one doing all the work for this movie, and he's a fun, exciting, like Lego said, badass Santa Claus. And I thought it was I thought it was great. I thought him in that role was fantastic. But overall, I don't think it nets anywhere as high as the rest of these. So I will also throw this one into the D tier.
So I would also like to point out that it's Kurt Russell as Santa and Goldie Hawn as Mrs. Santa.
Yeah,
Mrs. Claus. Like that's so good.
That's a plus. That's a plus for this movie right there.
This movie was cute. I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it, but I watched it last year and I'm not remembering too much from it. I remember like certain key scenes that I can.
I'm changing my vote to an S tier.
Yeah, this is a sequel to The Thing.
This is now S tier for me.
That's true.
I thought it was okay, but yeah, again,
He
out of
stayed in
everything else on
Antarctica
here,
and he became Santa Claus.
almost everything else on here I remember fairly well. So it's not an awful movie. I remember enjoying it, but it just didn't have a lasting effect, I guess. I got this as a D also.
No, Jesse, we don't have Fat Man on here. We're actually we got 3 more movies, I think, on this list.
Yeah.
We're gonna end up doing a Christmas movies part 2 next year, where we cover movies that we haven't covered on this list, and I imagine we'll probably end up bringing this one back to be like, here's where we rank these Christmas movies. Let's talk about a new set of Christmas movies, because there's quite a few.
All of the other reindeer.
As it turns out, there's a lot of Christmas movies out there, and we don't have time to rank all of them in one night. So we'll return to it next year.
Yeah, okay. So I see what y'all were saying earlier. Next movie.
Oh, what I was saying earlier?
Yeah, we'll see. So this one is going to start with Chris.
Okay.
And we're going to go with Klaus.
Look at this movie. I'm just going to say right off the top of the thing here, it's got to go to the top of the thing here. That's an S tier movie. It is a new classic. There's just some fun. There's just so much fun stuff in this movie. It's such a heartwarming, sweet origin tale for Santa Claus, and just it's got such the quality of animation is such like a classic style of animation, but it feels so fresh and new at the same time. Just the voice work, the acting, the storytelling, how they cover all the little beats that are part of the Santa lore, and how they just they don't gloss over them, but they just slip them in there, and you go, oh, okay, that's cute. Like it does such a great job of telling the origin of Santa Claus. I would almost say that this, even though I really do like Santa Claus is Coming to Town, the old Rankin Bass animated movie, this I feel like does a better job and tells a better Santa Claus origin story in my mind. It just feels more complete. It feels more whole. It feels like it makes a lot more sense, including even like the touching on the magical aspect, like probably like at the very end. It does a lot of great things for the story of Santa. I particularly really enjoy it. It is a tearjerker. It's just a nice, lovely, wonderful movie. Easy S tier for me. I actually think I have this very top of the S tier myself.
Yeah, this is a movie that I feel like is starting to become a movie that I watch every year. Watched it for the first time last year. Watched it again last night on the Patreon watch along. So if you want to join us for a watch along for movies like Klaus or whatever other movie we watch, patreon.com/cinefanatics. Join us at the $5 tier. You can join us for watch alongs. We watched this last night. Still a fun movie. It's still absolutely gorgeous. The animation style is so I don't know. I'm torn between like how much of it is actually hand drawn and how much of it is CG. But either way, they've got the mix of those perfect. And I'm actually eager to see if the director, if they come up with any more movies in this kind of style, just to see what they do with it, because
I would
is
love
really
to see
pretty.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, I will have to agree. I would put this as S tier as well. This is going to very easily become a new yearly favorite of mine. So I feel like this is going to be up there. Like the other one I did that with last year and this year was Anna and the Apocalypse, which I talked about during the horror. So.
Yes, Garth brings up my favorite line from the movie. They're not attached? Why aren't they attached? I thought they were attached. I never in a million years would have done what I just did if I didn't think these were attached.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie's S. Tori.
Yeah, I mean, I saw this. I think it came out in like 2019, right?
18.
18?
Was it 18?
No, 19. Sorry,
Oh,
my
yeah,
bad.
I thought it was 19.
Look
It
at
is
me
18.
knowing more
Or
about
19. Look at
movie
us.
trivia. Wow. Okay.
Why don't
I
you go
saw
on the
this.
trivia show and show off for that?
There was
What
never
trivia
any
show?
trivia show, Robert.
What are you talking about?
Okay. Someone should create one.
Fans of you?
I saw this during the pandemic, like 2020, with a friend who I was going to graduate school with. And I was going through a lot, and we were like, "Oh, let's put on a Christmas movie." And I was like, "Oh, I've heard of this movie Klaus. I don't really know what it is about, but I've heard it's really good. Do you want to watch it?" And she was like, "Sure." And we watched it, like not knowing really anything about it. And I just was like blown away, like the places it goes, and like it's really emotional. It's funny, like it's very funny. The animation's gorgeous, but it's just like a really good story. I would beat Bateman's.
I don't know about that one, Tori.
No.
But what if I did? Okay.
I'll take you up on that bet, William, and
My friends don't support me. Look at them. Chris and Robert are like, oh.
We're very supportive, Tori. We're just also very realistic.
yes, as your supportive friend, I would tell you don't do that fight.
I can do whatever I want, Chris.
Yes, you can, Tori.
Sorry, as your supportive friend, I would highly recommend that you don't do that fight.
I'm smart. I have a 3.97 GPA. Okay.
And that helps you move your release dates how?
I could study release dates for like a month and I could be fine. Okay.
Oh, sure. Okay, so as your supportive friend, I would recommend that you don't do it right this second.
No. I could study it. I could meet anyone. But anyway, Klaus. It's really good. I recommend, like, if you haven't seen it, really go watch it. It's a must go. Like, I really want to watch it again this year, like if I can tomorrow or Christmas Day. For me, it's S tier.
Oh, so I can put it right here? Is everyone good with this? Okay.
So
cool.
Here's the thing. Did we all put Wonderful Life at S tier, and we're all putting Klaus at S tier?
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said earlier, that's the only movie. I'm like, nope, there's one other. I knew this one.
Yeah.
I don't know. So now that just becomes, where does everybody have it in relation to It's a Wonderful Life on their personal list? I have it over, but
Klaus? Yeah.
I have it over It's a Wonderful Life.
But... I could entertain that argument here in a minute. We got two more left. Let's knock these through, and then we can go through on how we want to sort everything.
Knock them through.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting since that F tier has got a lot of empty gaps, so something's going to be a scooching on down.
Some things are going to drop there.
Especially because, let's see, we started with Klaus, with Chris, so this is going to be me kicking off. A Christmas Story Christmas. This movie was delightful. This movie was so delightful. Like, this is how you sequel a movie. And the problem with like Christmas movies is typically all your sequels kind of just suck. I don't know of too many other than Home Alone 2 that we talked about. I don't know of too many other Christmas sequels that were really that good. This one nailed, in my opinion, the feel of the original movie. Like it just seemed like a natural extension. The only thing that I thought was like kind of a drawback is obviously it doesn't look the same because the first one came out in '83. It's got that film grain. It looks old. It looks nostalgic. This one was nice and pristine and clean, like it was filmed in 2022. That's really my only drawback on this. Otherwise, this was a fantastic movie. I thought they did very well with it. I do agree, Jeremy. The title is throwing me off. But they changed it. Exactly.
Sure.
It's because there actually is a Christmas Story 2. There was a sequel done to the original Christmas Story, but it had like none of the original cast in it. And it just really isn't good. This is a good sequel. So they're kind of just ignoring that second one was made. And instead of calling this a Christmas Story 3 or a Christmas Story 2, They just call it Christmas Story Christmas, which I mean, I understand. It's just completely ignoring the second one that shouldn't actually exist. Yeah, this movie was good though. I liked it. I do have it as a B. Tori.
I'm so white. Anyway. I like this movie.
I quit.
I would like to state right now that this is no longer the Cinefanatics. This channel is just whatever Tori wants to fucking call it. So take it away, Tori. This is your channel now. We're all here for you. Where would you?
I'm gonna go hang out with
like
North
me
Paul.
to? Where would you like me to click, ma'am?
It's definitely not F where we have our gaps, so some shit's gonna have to scooch. But I really liked it. I mean, I will say, like I said, a Christmas Story, I'm a bit burnt out. So this was like a refreshing take on it, and I think it's funny. I think it was like lighthearted. I think it was cute. I don't know if I'll watch it every year. So for that, I'd probably put it at C. Because the other movies that we have in here, besides like Elf, I would probably watch more than this one, personally. Tory Fanatics, listen.
The Tory Fanatics.
Listen, next year, you never know, 2023.
Legos down for the Tory show.
What could happen? Could you imagine I just have a show where I just am drunk and just like talk about?
You would get a ton of views, and yeah, that would probably be like super successful.
That would cause strife between us if I got like 1,000 donations and from just like burping on a camera, and then like you were all like putting your heart into
you do what works well.
you were
Get that bag.
Your heart and soul.
Get that bag. I mean, if you got it, flaunt it. Burping on camera on stream is gonna make it. I mean, if YouTube would allow nudity, we'd be raking in the money. I'm just saying.
No, we would not.
Chris will not put his titties on screen for money. You know, I respect it.
Oh,
I'm not against it. I'm just not a part of any like Twitch doesn't allow it, you know.
You know. One day it probably will. Anyway, Christmas Story Christmas.
C. Yeah.
C.
Chris.
I loved this movie. I don't understand why this movie was as good as it was. I was not maybe it's because I went into it with like lower expectations, just because I was like, I'm just okay on the first one, and this one I'm like, we'll see. I'm sure it will be just fine as well. No, this movie was a damn delight. I enjoyed it all the way through. It was about halfway through this movie, and I was like, wait a minute, is this movie actually turning out to be really pretty good? Yeah, it is. The thing that this movie does really well is, one, for someone like me, it actually elevates the first Christmas Story. Like I said earlier when I was talking about it, despite the fact that I did put it in F tier still, something had to go there. It does elevate the first one. I don't want to say how. If you haven't seen this movie, but you have seen the first one, I think there's something about it you will very much appreciate. I'm not going to harp in on that. You just have to watch this one. What they do with this, though, is that they hit those nostalgic beats. A lot of movies and their sequels tend to go back to the things that are memorable about the first movie and really kind of drill those things back down into your head again. They kind of like beat you over the head with those things. Like, I could easily have seen this movie. Solo. Yeah. Solo is a great example. Star Wars. It's a great example of that. This movie could have taken the leg lamp and just beaten you with it. They did not. They had a couple moments where there were things that they are referencing to the there is one particular scene that's kind of a reference to a scene in the first movie. But otherwise, everything else I think is so expertly handled that it's like, that's nice. That's a really good touch. Like, it made me happy to see those moments play out the way they did instead of being beaten over the face with a leg lamp. They just did a really good job. The the plot, the reason why this movie is happening, why it has to happen, I thought was expertly handled given real life events with actors who were a part of the first one. I really think it's fantastic. Yeah, Garth, they kick you in the head like Santa. That's actually one of the moments I thought was actually handled really well. The whole he's dropping his kids. I'm not going to spoil too much. He's dropping his kids off to go see Santa, and he's just walking away like, all right, don't let him kick you in the face. And his wife's like, what? And he just walks away.
Nothing.
Nah, don't worry about it. That's a perfect example of how this movie handles it. It's just quick. It's in there. It gets the job done. It makes you go, oh, yeah, that's right. And you move on. Don't give me that face. God. It's good. No, not phrasing. It's fine. Dirty-minded ass. A tier for me. I actually really, really enjoyed this movie. And also Peter Billingsley, fantastic. Like you would expect him to be like hamming it up. Now, one, it's believable that he's adult Ralphie, and two, he really is the heart for the entire story throughout the whole movie.
Sorry, I'm a blonde bimbo. Is it the same actor that played Ralphie?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Has he been in other things since then?
Yep. Iron Man. And he was also,
Far From Home.
let's see. So real quick, since we're talking about that, we've got A, B, and a C. So technically this should go in B. So it's going to bump Elf, which also has Peter Billingsley in it.
That's true. He's also in that. Really quickly.
Yeah. So how do we want this to go? I mean, technically it should go.
You should put it in front of Elf and move Elf and everything else below it down.
Or do we want to, like, I'm going to put it like in, let's say in the middle. So I would say move everything up one.
I've already said all of my S tiers.
I was going to say, I want to move.
Again, I personally would put Santa Claus in an S tier.
I think what I want to do is move everything up one. Miracle on 34th Street, everything goes up one. And then Christmas Vacation, everything goes down one. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
What's left? I would go ahead and just drop Bad Santa and Christmas Chronicles down to F.
Yeah.
And then even out the other tiers so that there's 3 at each tier.
That's what I'm thinking. And then
Who's an Iron Man?
And then we want to purposely leave S having 4 tiers.
Yes.
Are we okay
Oh
with
my god, he's that guy. He's the lab researcher in Iron Man and Spider-Man.
Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. I'm sorry, sir. I'm not Tony Stark.
He's also playing the same character in Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh my god, that makes this joke that Garth, whoever put in the chat earlier, so much funnier.
Mysterio taught him how to act.
You think he was just randomly throwing that
I
in
thought
there
he was just randomly saying it. Which...
he produced it too. Oh, that's fun. Anyway. Yeah, so Santa Claus, you put up Miracle at 34th Street, and then I guess you slip in Christmas Story, Christmas Before Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Is that where we're sticking it?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're sticking it.
Oh, good Lord, y'all.
What did I say?
What haven't you said?
God.
I think that's the
I don't know where the microphone on my laptop is. That's where we're sticking it.
Thank you, Tori.
Okay, you're welcome.
So streamlabs.com/cinefanatics, guys.
My throat is like ripped out currently because I was pretending to be a dinosaur while working with kids. And I roared really hard. And it hurts.
Rawr.
Roar!
Oh, don't do it
Over.
again. If it's causing you pain, don't do it
It
again.
hurts. But I commit to the role, you know? Oh, God. A kid rode me like a horse yesterday.
We're going to go to...
That was a real story.
Starting with Tori. Actually, okay, so here's the thing with this one. Tori,
Can't start with Tori on this.
I believe you haven't seen this one, so we're gonna start with Chris.
I
Although I
have
would
not.
I would like to start with
Wait,
Tori
do you-
on something to change the subject real quick.
Do you want me to pretend I know what the plot is?
No,
Okay.
actually, no.
Because this is a movie that is kind of like oriented for kids, also. So yeah, no, Tori.
Is it?
Eh,
Is it though?
yeah, for the sake of this conversation right now, yes, it is.
Okay.
Why am I so white? Why am I so? Can you like look at me for a
Because you
second?
have a light right in your face.
Is that what it does? But it's just my laptop screen.
Yeah.
So Spirited is another example of both it and A Christmas Story Christmas. I think are both two movies that came out. Obviously, they came out this year.
Real quick,
What?
Chris. Yes, Jeremy, we are doing a poll for this. So everyone in the chat, get ready to vote.
Yeah, I actually need to make a poll for that too. Just a second here. It's a movie that came out obviously along with Christmas Story Christmas this year. Both movies I think are good examples of movies that are probably better than they should be.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, you look at this situation and you're thinking, Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, where do you go wrong with this? And for the most part, I think you're pretty much right. I mean, it is easy because both of them have had some pretty solid bombs in their careers, but together they are actually pretty great. Give me a second here. Which tier
Can we talk about how
does
shitty this poster thingy is, though?
Spirited go in?
Call it a
Their
North
foreheads are cut off.
Well, that's because I have to squish this image down to the
Oh,
image.
that was a Robert Adams. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, now you're just being judgmental of his.
I
His work
thought
here.
it was like the legitimate poster.
No. Anyway, I thought it was wonderful. Obviously, so this movie is a musical as well. Guys, you can vote in the poll, by the way, right now. It is up. This movie is a musical as well, which I thought was like, that could be disastrous because like how good are Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds going to be in a musical? And to their credit, they're better than Russell Crowe as far as singing goes, but not by leaps and bounds. However, the story of this movie, wherein it does have some twists and turns in it, I thought was actually still a lot of fun and brought a lot of fun energy to the Christmas movie scene. Just the whole nature of them kind of touching on the idea that the Christmas Carol plot is actually a real thing that happens on Earth. People are chosen to have to come in contact with the ghosts of past, present, and future. It's just an interesting concept. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought they did some great things with both characters in this movie, and it turns out that this movie really is a movie about both characters, not just one specific character. So you keep that idea in mind when you're seeing it, and it's actually a nice, fun little twist on the Christmas Carol. It's a lot more fun of a twist on Christmas Carol than I think Scrooged is. So therefore, this one actually does rank pretty decently high for me. I put this, well, I say decently high, but I'm putting it in C. Decently high in comparison to Scrooged, I should say. It's a C tier for me.
Yeah, so I kind of agree like with all that. It's a silly and different take on the Christmas Carol story. The twists that they do a couple like small like little twists and stuff in this, I think plays very well. I agree. Their singing is horrendous. They are not good singers.
Not the best.
That's what really kills. The problem is the music is done by the same guys who did what not La La Land. Did they do La La Land?
Yes. They did La La Land with
La La
Justin
Land. They did Greatest Showman. They did Lyle Lyle Crocodile, and then they did Spirited. And some of the songs are kind of catchy. Some of them just, and a lot of them, I think they lean too heavily on the joke of someone is starting to sing and then they just stop them in the middle of singing. And I think they do that like maybe for like 3 songs in this movie. It's just, it's a joke that gets old real quick. But otherwise, they have some fun moments. This is probably going to be one. I don't know if like how likely I am to watch it next year, but it could potentially go either way, just depending on if I find like more like little things about it to like.
This might be like an every 3 years watch type situation.
Maybe. I do also have. Well, I have it as a D. So you got a C, and I got it as a D. How does the chat think it goes?
Right now, we are currently waging war in the C through F range. Oh, yep, even all the way through. That's great. Really helpful. Okay, chat's leaning more towards F right now. Completely disagree with that. Now we got to type. D's. Okay, D's taking it, guys. I should be like doing this like a like an auctioneer or something. All right now we got C's taking the lead. All right, now we go to the F tier is taking the lead. All right, now D is taking that 50%. D is at the top of the pack. D is at the okay. The poll looks like a dick right now. All right, D tier still holding the lead here at 43%.
Everything looks like a dick to you.
C and F are shorter and D is longer. What do you want from me?
Oh, it looks like a penis. The middle's tall.
I've never seen one, so I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Yeah, I've never seen a penis either. I'll be honest with you.
I've seen one.
Oh,
Like,
I've never,
I've seen a gigantic one at one point.
And I asked that man, how do you live with that?
Oh, good Lord. All right. Do we have a...
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now they're just making the D tier longer. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and end it. D for chat. D for chat.
All right. So it's going to go in D right there because I refuse to let it go below Polar Express or Grinch.
Correct.
What do you have against the Gen Z tier? Okay.
So that is all the movies. Do we want to make any final movements and change arounds?
I mean, I personally would still put Santa Claus in Home Alone's place.
A Christmas Story should be higher than Elf.
Oh, switch Christmas Story and Elf.
I could agree with that.
I can see a world like if we're creating this as a general list, I can see a world where that does make sense.
Fucking Jesse.
My opinion, yeah, that's hilarious. My opinion
That's
is
so funny.
I like Elf more than Christmas Story, but
when I say it, it's mean.
I can see switching those.
Again, for me and for our list, I would still prefer to see Santa Claus over Home Alone. I'd still do it like Home Alone.
That. They're both pretty equal to me.
I could do that also.
Santa Claus, it just has more intrinsic value to me than Home Alone, even though Home Alone is also typically like an almost every year watch. They both kind of are, even though I haven't watched either one of them yet this year. Because I haven't felt the Christmas spirit this year. Ha ha ha.
Christmas is
now dead. You have a machine gun. Oh no, I have a machine gun. Ho ho ho. Never mind. Sorry, I screwed up that line.
It's okay. It's not a Christmas movie. Don't worry about it.
Oh, stop it.
Just kidding. Just kidding. It's a Christmas movie if you want it to be.
By the way, guys, we're almost done with this. When we're done with this, I'm going to be talking about the next episode of the Marquee, the first one of 2023, and you're going to want to know all about this one because we're starting off with a bang.
I just don't feel as strong about almost anything else on this list about where it goes. So everything else is pretty okay about where it's at.
So do we want to swap Christmas Story for Elf?
Yes.
I'm not going to argue it. Again, the sequel elevates the original for me, so I'm not going to argue about it going up even more. Even though I technically put it in F tier, but whatever, Again, there's only 2 movies I care about being in F tier at this point, and they're both there. So.
Burp.
Where's A Christmas Story? There it is.
And C.
Do we feel a little bit weird with the Christmas Story? Christmas is higher than A Christmas Story.
I absolutely don't
know.
feel weird about that at all. It's a better movie.
Will we get shit for it? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care.
Well, my phone's been really quiet lately, so I'm ready to see it blow up with all the comments on that one tomorrow.
I'm very okay if people want to give us crap for that.
That I'm also expecting to catch a little for White Christmas.
I feel like people who give us crap for A Christmas Story, Christmas being over the original, haven't seen the new one. So, that's my take.
All right, but we're good with everything else on there. Can we swap out the Christmas Chronicles for Polar Express?
No.
Okay. I thought I'd ask. Doesn't hurt to ask, y'all. Just saying.
Look me in the eyes and ask that question.
I don't feel strongly enough about it to care. I think it's fine. I think at that point it's kind of just fine where it's at.
All right, so we're good with where everything's at.
It does suck for me to say that Christmas Chronicles is an F. It's got to be, something's got to go there, but I do like Kurt Russell more.
There is one more. I wanted to go back because we mentioned earlier. Do we really strongly have the need to swap Klaus and It's a Wonderful Life?
Oh yeah. I have Klaus over It's a Wonderful Life.
I could entertain putting Klaus over It's a Wonderful Life. I do actually enjoy Klaus more than It's a Wonderful Life.
Do we want to be controversial?
I don't think that's going to be that controversial. That's going to be a situation that if people are like, how are you going to put Klaus over It's a Wonderful Life? The first thing I'm going to say is go watch Klaus. You are obviously a person that has not watched Klaus yet. Go watch Klaus.
Tori, how do you feel on it? Do you feel Klaus is over?
I'm down to put Klaus on top.
Put your Klaus on top.
Baby. Because you're the one that I love.
It's the Santa that I need.
Baby, you're the one that I need.
I have no idea
what your Klaus on top
doing, but okay.
You don't recognize the song?
No.
Uncultured. It's Beyonce.
Uncultured swine.
Yeah. Anyways, Robert, didn't you promise that Scrooge would be D tier? I don't think so.
Did you? I don't remember. I remember promising that Bad Santa would be no higher than D. You're gonna like where Bad Santa lands. I guarantee it. At least I will.
Oh, that was the one that on Twitter I was like, not if I have something to say about it, and I put Superman there talking about Bad Santa. Not Scrooge.
And you had something to say about it, but it wasn't.
It didn't work. It didn't stick very well. So
no.
Yeah. So
Not
that's where these are going to lie for this. I'm going again. I will clean this up. I will post it on Twitter tomorrow. Feel free to quote tweet with your picks. Anything you think we got right or we got wrong, feel free to let us know. Again, retweet, quote tweet, share. Let's see how much of a controversy is this. They've actually recently the past couple of marquees haven't been that controversial. I really haven't seen anyone flat out say that we're stupid. So
actually, you know what? Do me a quick favor.
You want to make something controversial? Okay.
I want to make it just slightly less controversial. It's still going to be controversial, but I want to make it just slightly less controversial. Swap Bad Santa and Scrooged.
Wait, really? Is that important to you? Really? Yeah. That's that important to you?
Yes. Oh, man.
I'm going to go ahead without even asking Tori because I'm pretty sure Tori doesn't give two shits either.
No.
Yes. They both are just generally bad to me, so.
Stop it, Garth. Let us believe what we want to believe. Anyways, that's where everything is lying on here. Laying. That's where it all rests.
That's where it all lies.
This is all where it ranked. So, anyways, let's go back. Carl, put everything back. Take it away, Carl. Man, you got to be really super fast. Carl was in a hurry to get out of here and go home and have some hot chocolate and eggnog and whatnot. And
do feel kind of bad that they were keeping him here this whole time, and he doesn't do anything other than put up the marquee and take it down.
Maybe he's an atheist.
Don't know anything about Carl. He keeps to himself. In fact, that's really the only time I ever see him is whenever
honestly. What I know about the guy, he looks like a holly jolly man. So I'm pretty sure he celebrates the Christmas. He's already gone, so I can't even.
Are you saying atheists look a certain way, Chris?
I'm saying
all
Carl
atheists look like.
I'm talking specifically about Carl.
All atheists look exactly the same. They all look like They all look like the Navi, and I can't tell them apart.
Oh my god! Ending the year on that note.
Yes, that is how we're ending the year. Starting next year. So this is the last live stream show that we are doing of 2022. We are on a hiatus for a good couple of weeks. We will be back on January 11th with the tagline. So that's Wednesday, January 11th. We may have a trailer reaction may pop up if we see the need to do one.
We'll see.
Yeah. Typically there's not major trailer reactions within this time period, so we should be okay. Otherwise, yeah. So January 11th, we're coming back with the tagline. January 13th, we are coming back with the marquee. This is going to be a big one. This is one that was eager to do, and I was just looking for the right date to do this one. And now it is here. It is the way we are kicking off this year, and I feel like we're doing it properly. The first marquee of 2023 will be on Friday, January 13th. It will be on Friday the 13th. Guess what we're tier ranking?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
No. We will be tier ranking all of the Friday the 13th movies. This is including Friday the 13th 1 through Jason Goes to Hell. We will be doing Jason X. We will be doing Freddy vs. Jason and the 2009 remake. This is going to be a lot of fun. And what's really going to make it fun is you're going to want to know who the guests are, and I'm not saying. You're going to have to stay tuned.
I was going to ask, are we revealing guests right now or no?
We're not revealing guests yet.
Ooh, y'all need to sit on pins and needles, because here's the thing. I don't care about Friday the 13th movies, but this is going to be a good one.
This is going to be I am super excited for this. So, yeah, stay tuned, y'all. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. Oh, I can't wait.
If you're part of the 2009 one, it was the first time I saw boobs in a movie. So,
and that has great nipple placement.
That's great nipple placement.
I hate that line. I hate that.
Okay. If you're part of our Discord, regardless of what you just heard there, if you're part of our Discord, you might have gotten a hint as to at least potentially one of the guests.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a hint was dropped somewhere. It's kind of not a subtle hint, but it's still a hint nonetheless. So maybe that's the reason why you should hop on our Patreon, at least at the $1 tier, and jump into the Discord. And then maybe you can see an early hint as to who one of the guests may be.
Yeah, I don't want to keep hinting at guests because I'm afraid I might be talking too much. So anyways, stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of fun with the Friday the 13th marquee. I cannot wait. I'm actually was more anxious for that one than this one tonight. I just want to hurry up and get to Friday the 13th.
Your bias towards horror movies is showing.
It is. Yeah, I'm just, so good. Anyways, thank you, Tori, for being here on this marquee. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for bringing your SWAT story.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do a Christmas marquee. So,
and now your dream has been fulfilled.
I'm glad we finally got one in the books for you, and we can always go back and watch it anytime we want now. Yeah.
So, thank you all everyone in the chat. Thank you for being here and watching. Good turnout, y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all added a lot to this tonight. It was a lot of fun seeing all y'all's comments, some of them for better or worse.
Tony Stark made this in a cave.
Biased towards
with a box
horror
of scraps.
Show.
Yes, Lego, your bias towards horror always shows.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, so that's going to do it for tonight. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for being a part of us. Make sure you follow us at Cinefanatics MLP on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me personally at Robert Adams MLP, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd. I guess Tori, you can plug. I completely forgot how we end. I need to take a break from this.
Tori X Rose, how it's spelled on the bottom. Twitter, Instagram. In the new year, I think I'm going to be doing some stuff that I'll
Are you?
probably announce on Twitter. And I'm going to try to do more streaming on Twitch. Probably starting in like February of next year. So keep an eye on that stuff. But yeah, have a happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Happy Hanukkah, that's going on too. Merry Christmas, all that good stuff. So yeah.
And then you can find me at Chris Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as twitch.tv/Chris Adams MLP. Currently on a hiatus over there as well. We'll be coming back here. I might do a stream after Christmas at some point, but otherwise it might follow. My hiatus on there might follow suit to the same hiatus we're doing with Cinefanatics. Just I need some more time to get some stuff prepared and worked out over there. So you should still come over and follow, though.
Yeah. Anyways, again, thank y'all for watching, being here. We will see y'all next year. I hate that joke.
You got on my case for doing it during tagline, and you're going to do it?
Yeah, sure, whatever. Good night.